Okay, all right. We appear to be live. So this is a Hyberian one shot that's being run by James, um, and he was nice enough to invite three players to participate in his game. Um, I guess I'm kind of semi-hosting this, so I'll get all the usual nonsense out of the way, and then I'll let Jim take it away. So actually, DBJ, you're up first. You want to plug your channel, and then we'll go down the line. And your character.
Unmute. There we go. All right. I'm DBJ. Harder to spell my name out than to just type in Bring Back the Magic. I've got quite a few videos, about 170, 180 or so, on various topics about mainly Dungeons and Dragons, but just role-playing in general. And I am playing a pirate, Mitros Wavebreaker, a pirate, in this Conan one-shot.
Okay, thanks. Ian, you're up next.
Hi, I'm Ian. I run the YouTube channel Fantastic Dimensions. I do mostly actual play videos at the moment. Lots of D&D, a little bit of Fate now, some Eclipse Phase, and D20 Call of Cthulhu, probably many more to come. So I am playing Astir of Arentis. No, Astir Arentis, I'm sorry. He is an immediate medicine man, basically a sorcerer.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Ian. Okay, Lloyd, you're up.
Hello, I'm Lloyd. I run the channel LDM, and I run lots of games on it. And I'll be playing Vagir Broken Axe, who is a Vanirman who likes to fight dirty.
Okay, all right. And I'm David. This is on my channel, so thanks everybody for watching. And I'm going to be playing Galen Hayden, and he is a young Colthian lord, first son of his house. So, Jim, you can take it away. We're in your hands, man.
All right. The scene opens up in a dark ocean. You guys are west of the Barakan Isles, which is west of the coast of Zingara. And you all are headed towards an island known as Pirates Cove or Pirates Island. It's basically an island where the pirates hold sway over the populace there. It's a small island, and they use it as a hub for smuggling, as a protection area, and things like that, because the navies of the world will not come close to this area because of the number of pirates in the area. They would easily get swamped unless there was a real concerted effort to try to snuff them out. Since people make money off of this place, the major armies, which are the Zingarans and the Argosian, they just let things kind of go by as it goes by. So you guys are on a skiff that's built for maybe 4 people, and you all are surreptitiously slinking into the cove, into the bay. As you all approach the so-called Pirate Island, for lack of a better name, it has no actual name. It's just called the Pirate Island. You guys can see the cove where the majority of the pirates stay, where the majority of the ships are. To the eastern side of the island, you can see lights and torches kind of dot the night skyline, and a soft rain is falling. There's no moon out, and on the west of the island is a large fort atop broken cliffs and a mountainous area. So if you can kind of imagine, it's sloping from left to right downward. So on the left side, the western side of the island, the fort sits high up atop the mountainous area. It's broken mountains, and you know that it would be very difficult to make your way there if you were to try to make the approach there. So you have to basically land on the beach, and then it will be up to you to decide whether you go eastward, which is a couple of miles towards the settlement, or westward, which is a couple of miles towards the fort. Now, in this, there is Mitros Wavebreaker. He's a pirate scum who's been holed up in one of the deepest dungeons in Karaja. He's been released to lead Guylan, who is David's character, to this island. And what you guys are doing here is that the Lord, his name is Count Darjos. He's the father of a young woman named Ashiera, and that is also the betrothed of Guylan. And a ship that she was on was taken by pirates and supposedly brought here. So, Guylan, you are expected as a noble to lead this assemblage of people, of adventurers, and Mitros Wavebreaker is going to lead you and has led you here to the Pirate Isle. He's ruthless, Mitros Wavebreaker. He has a horrible reputation even amongst pirates. He's ruthless amongst pirates. And for some reason, his ship and his crew were killed, but he got away. You know, a rat will always find a way to escape. But he's feared because of his ruthlessness, not so much because of his ability to battle, but he's just a mean SOB. Your father needs to make this happen. He needs to make this marriage happen. He needs to make sure that you reclaim Ashiera, because he has debts, so much debt, that in marrying her and attaching your house to her house, you'll be able to pay off some of those debts. Astir and Bagir, you guys wander about. Astir has maps to just about everything. And you've heard of a fort that is supposedly on the pirate island, but the fort protects the island, so you know no one can come into the fort. But from your information, the fort is quote unquote abandoned and hasn't been used in over 100 years. So either someone is lying about the protective value of the fort, or your information is incorrect. So when you heard that someone was putting together an expedition to the so-called Pirate Island, you were all over it. You dragged your buddy Bagir because Bagir needs money. They told you that they would pay you a big fat purse of gold. And Bagir said, hey, let's go. And Astir said, yes, let's go. So you guys are not overly enthused by Mitros Wavebreaker's presence here. You've heard of him. You've heard of the scum that he is. But, you know, Bagir could break his neck in a heartbeat. You could curse him with boils and bunions and everything else. So he really doesn't pose a credible threat to either of you. So now as your skiff slowly enters the cove, you guys are about a mile off from shore, and the wind is beginning to pick up. You see coral reefs. That the air is temperate, not hot, but you know, fairly temperate. And you know, outside of the dotted lights where the settlement area is, the island is pretty much black except for the silhouette of the fort that you guys can see from here. So Mitros is holding the rudder, and there's like a small sail that he's controlling. So you guys are sliding in for the last mile. So you can make a choice at this point to head westward towards the fort, which you won't be able to get to because it's high up in the mountains. You guys can continue forward and land on the beach, or you can go eastward towards the pirate cove and go right into the civilized, quote-unquote, pirate area.
Now, I've got a question. Taking all of that background in, do I have any definitive idea where Ashira is actually specifically at, or are we just?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
You guys received a demand for 100,000 pieces of gold from one Tyros, Lord Marshal of Pirate Island. You do not have that money, nor does your house, nor does your family, nor does anyone that you know of. So your father, or actually her father, is afraid that she's going to be ravaged and that she's going to be of ill use to anyone in the marrying type. So with, that's why they freed Mitros. You guys took a ship here and then got off onto the little skiff. And, the skiff feels like it's going to fall apart at any moment. Vagir is a large individual, and his portion of the skiff kind of dips ominously into the water, the black water. It's nighttime, and you can feel the rain is picking up. You hear slight thunderous noises in the distance. So whatever storm is coming, it's not here yet. And you can see flashes of lightning dancing in the sky.
Okay, so ultimately we have to try to secret her out of here, basically.
You can secret her.
Yeah.
And you have to make the determination of whether or not you can just kill Tyros and take her, or if there's a way to get her out.
Okay.
The Nemedian sorcerer, the medicine man, may be of use because he may be able to wizard or sorcerer his way past the perceptions of normal men.
Okay, all right, gotcha. Okay. So Guylan is steering the rudder on the back of this skip.
Oh, wait, before we start, I have to give you guys your equipment.
Oh, okay.
So you can write this down. A steer has a small blade, damage 1. Guylan has a medium blade, damage 2. Guylan has medium armor and a shield, armor 3. Mitros has a medium blade, damage 2, and light armor, armor 1. Bagir has a large axe, damage 3. No armor, because that's not how he rolls. So Astir and Bagir have no armor. Guylan has a medium armor and shield, and Mitros has leatherish leather coat, overcoat.
Does my shield just give me a +1 to my armor total? Okay, so if I lose my shield, I got armor 2?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
All right. So, you have to make a decision as to where you want to land, or are you leaving it in Mitros's capable hands? Now, Mitros, you've been here before, okay? Being the pirate scum that you are, you do not have a good relationship with Tyros. As a matter of fact, you attempted to challenge him at one point, not to combat, but you surreptitiously tried to get people on your side to back you in a coup, and it failed. And as a result, he kicked your ass off the island and said, never come back here on pain of death. And you took your boat and you left with your crew, who eventually all died and your ship is gone. So he may have been responsible for whatever caused you to lose your ship and your crew. But you know that once you get into the cove is the living area of the island. Island, Pirate Cove. That's the the area. So you know that if you land on the beach, you'll be basically in a jungle-like environment. It's basically jungle-ish, except for the east side, which is where the cove is, and the west side, where the fort is. You've never been to the fort. You've never had a reason to come to the fort. So, when you were here, you were unloading cargo. There is a person by the name of Publio, the Aquilonian, and he is a smuggler merchant, and he is a contact that you had once upon a time.
Now, would Mitros know where to find this gentleman?
He would be in the cove. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. As I struggle with the guiding the small vessel in, I'll turn to Mitros, and I'll yell over the howling wind. The beach is directly ahead. Should I aim for it?
Yes, and keep a steadier hand. You'll drown us all.
Okay, I'll grab it with both hands and set my jaw, and kind of look up in the darkening sky as the clouds roll in and get thicker, and we hear the boom of thunder overhead, and we'll head in towards the beach.
The waves begin to pick up and begins to toss your small skiff hither and yon, and you see a pack that you had full of food and kind of rope and spikes and stuff like that goes over the side into the water.
All right,
Vagir gives out a curse, and you see some of Astir's. He's got powders and jellies, and he's got all type of stuff on his person. He has odd smells emanating from him from all of these alchemical items. You see some of his stuff is like falling off into the water as well as the waves begin to pick up.
Okay, hold on tight to the sides of the ship, you knaves. We're coming in hard and fast.
Okay, you hear what sounds like a cracking whip, almost a thunderous noise above you, and Astir, you hear a chittering noise over the wind that the others don't seem to be aware of.
Is this anything you've heard of or read about before? Something maybe that I know from
Well, you've
studies?
never heard this noise, but it sounds like a living being. And at that moment, I will make an attack against you. A creature swoops down.
Alrighty.
Yes. And makes an attack against you.
Take Vagir. He's Meteor.
It's going to actually create an advantage called grappled.
Okay.
And it got a 5.
And
since you are basically unaware,
I'm completely surprised.
I'll give you a fate point.
Okay.
And you see a steer get snatched into the sky out of the skiff. And as you all look up, you see, let's see here. No, wrong picture. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Let's see if I can, you see this. And they're chittering, and their leathern wings are cracking in the night sky over the sound of the rolling thunder in the distance. And there are 3 of them. One of them has a steer in a grappled, and they succeeded with style. All right, so the other two kind of are circling around, and you see actually one of the other two grapples a steer as well, because they're having some trouble flying straight in this wind, leaving one more unattended. So you guys can act now. They are about 6 feet tall with an 8-foot arm span and about a 12-foot wingspan. The wings are actually pretty small, but they have these humongous hands. Their hands have to be, they could just put their hands around a basketball. Actually, they can almost reach their entire hand around a steer's midriff.
I'll defer to the other two as I still grapple with the rudder.
Okay, you, Dylan, are having a very difficult time against this wind and this weather and the waves, and you know that a wrong approach. Well, you don't know that, Mitros. You know that an improper approach will have you guys shattered against the coral reefs. The coral reef that's under the water. You can't see it because it's nighttime, but there you go. So let me give you guys the scene aspects, and then we can go ahead. Do you want me to put them in the text?
You can spell them out for me so I can write them down. But yeah, you can put them up there for everybody else.
Okay, it's a dark and rainy night. It is a boat built by fools, and it is beware the reef. We're doomed. Not yet, but soon you will be.
Okay.
So saying a steer get in trouble again.
Again.
I've got to pull this guy out of the fire. So I will look around for anything that I can throw, and if that includes, one of the blades at the belt of Guyland, that'll do for me.
Well, they've got oars.
You
guys are using the wind. Mitros put up like a crude sail because the boat is very, too small to have an actual huge sail. So Mitros kind of jerry-rigged something together and to help you guys go. So the oars are in the boat. So you can take one of the oars and toss it. They're out of range of an outright physical attack, a melee attack.
Yeah.
And they're getting further. They're moving towards the shoreline.
Okay. Yeah.
Could I compel Vagir, since he has the trouble always in need of a new axe, to actually just hurl his axe at one of these things?
I'm all for it. So you have to give Vagir one of your fate points. So basically the fate economy transfers your compelling, because I'm not compelling, you're compelling.
Oh, so, that's how that works.
Yeah, that's how, when you compel someone else.
But he can buy him off though, right?
Yeah.
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 So do you want that to happen? Because this is a new axe. It is a nice Kothian double axe with the hook. It's a hooked axe, the beaked axe. And it's got a nice, you took the time to put the leather strippings on it and everything else.
Man.
And your crap sucks because it's one, so it took you a while to.
But I had to give him
customize
it.
Yeah.
No, I'll pass on that for now. I don't want to lose my fate point.
Yeah, I'll probably hang on to the axe since I'm feeling going to lose it eventually. But I mean, it's the first 3 minutes of the game, so I think I'll hang on to it. I
haven't been carried away by flying monkeys.
I will, instead of throwing something, I will beat my chest like a gorilla at them and say, "Hey, over here! I'm what you want."
Okay, so I am going to say you are attempting to provoke them into attacking you.
Yeah.
So go ahead and make an overcome. Just for that, when another player uh, when one player compels another player, that's how that works. Otherwise, it comes from me, the fate
All right, no
points.
worries.
Yeah,
No,
I
I only
get per scene, I get a fate point for each character in that scene. So, right now there are four of you. So I would effectively have four fate points for my characters.
okay, cool. Wasn't sure how it all worked, so.
No worries.
Okay, I'll just make my provoke roll.
Okay, and you are going to attempt to overcome them. So that is going to be you need a good 3.
Okay. Not today.
All right, so you begin to beat your chest and but you don't know if they can hear you over the wind and the rain and the dark. So now you've gone. Who goes next?
Mitros will go next.
I'm going to make my way slide my way to the back of the boat and finally get this thing piloted the way it should be.
Okay, so
And,
you're going to knock Guylan off of the rudder?
Yeah, rather rudely. Out the way, let a professional do this. I should have never let you touch it in the first place.
Okay, you do notice, DBJ, that you are drifting off to the west, where you know that the coral is thickest.
Oh yeah, oh no, we're not heading that way. We're going to make it to the reef any way we can.
But you have to change the sail, the tacking. You have to tack against the wind so that the wind is pushing you into. So you have to kind of go perpendicular to the wind to go away. That's something that you know because you're a pirate and that's what you do. So it's basically you're making a drive roll, and the difficulty is going to be great for it.
That's fine. Any excuse not to attack those flying monkey things is fine with me.
And
So,
I am going to compel the rain and the wind to make that more difficult. So it's going to be a difficulty of 6.
All right. I have the specific skill is drive, but of course it's my sailing skill is good. It's +3, and I have flawless navigation, which
Okay.
I'm going to use as a stunt. Does it require me to use a fate point to do that?
No.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so you roll, and then whatever you roll, you add your skill, and then you add 2.
All right. So I get a bonus of. I haven't rolled yet, but I have a starting bonus of +5 or 5. I'm gonna roll, and yeah, my computer doesn't let it show up. Get a +1, so it's a 6.
All right. So you tied, so you get a boost. So your boost is going to be what? You succeeded for now, basically, but you haven't fully gotten what you want.
Okay.
So you can basically turn the skiff in the direction that you need to go. You can avoid some reefs, and you can make progress going towards the shore. What I'm going to say is now it's going to be a contest, right? So you need to accumulate 3 successes against my weather in order to make it to the shore. If my weather wins, because I'm going to roll resisting you with my weather, if my weather wins 3 before you win 3, I'm going to dash you against the coral reef.
All right.
Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Okay, so your boost is the Mitros maneuver. Okay, so you do an odd maneuver that you've done years ago, in a similar situation like this, except the boat is so small, it's not as responsive as you would like to the wind. So you kind of turn yourself in the proper direction, but you're still drifting towards the rocks. All right, who's next? A steer hasn't gone. Ian hasn't gone, and
Go
then
ahead. Go ahead, Ian. Or no, DBJ has to choose, right?
yeah, DBJ, and then Dylan hasn't gone as well.
Oh wow, okay.
Guylan. Let's have Guylan go.
Okay, so basically has the what you call it actually been wrested from my grip or what?
What's that?
The rudder.
Yeah, he came over and brusquely kind of
Okay.
pushed you to the side and mumbled something about, soft, landlubbers. And
I heard no such thing from his lips, sir.
you figured that he's probably the best person to be on that as well.
That's fine. That's fine.
But you see maybe a zone away upward, a zone away upward. The two have a steer. One of them has him by the robes, his robes on his back, and then the other one has grabbed him by the shoulder, and they're kind of making their way towards the main beach.
And that fool Vajir, all he did was beat his chest, and that was it, huh?
That was it.
Okay. There's really nothing I can do. I have no bow or anything or javelin or spear to reach him with, so I will move towards the middle of the skiff and watch helplessly. I mean, at this point there is nothing I think I can do as he's being carried away. Do they look like they're going towards the fortress itself, or just towards the cove?
Just towards the beach.
Okay.
They look like they're struggling an awful lot to fly in this weather.
Okay.
So that's where they're headed. The first landing area, basically.
Vajir, can that fool swim?
I usually do it for him, like everything.
Is there a rope in here?
Yes, there is.
Okay, all right, okay. I will roughly, if possible.
There's a rope, and then there's like a tiny anchor, almost like a grappling hook.
Okay. Oh, okay. But they're a zone away. They're too far, I'm sure.
Easy with the grappling hook.
No,
yeah.
You can try.
All right, okay. I will grit the grappling hook and whirl it over my head furiously, preparing to, and I will scream out, "Astaire, grab this with your teeth if you must," and I will fling it towards him.
All right, that is going to be an athletics check.
Okay.
And it's going to be, I'll say it's going to be a good check.
Okay.
Which makes it +3. I will let you go.
Okay. Okay. All right. So let's see. I have athletics of average. So let me roll. Clear.
We're okay.
What's the matter?
DBJ just added Fate Roller, but that's cool. Dice Stream.
It was an accident. Sorry, it was an accident.
Okay.
What the hell? Okay.
Okay, can you guys see that? Okay, so I just get a 1.
Okay,
Yeah.
So you can succeed at a serious cost if you so choose.
Ooh, sure. We need to try to get him. So.
All right, so through the wind, the grappling hook pierces into the darkness, and a flash of lightning reveals the glint of metal as it grapples a steer and snaps his belt of reagents, and his belt of reagents falls into the water along with the jellies and serious cost, along with his jellies and powders and cakes and things like that he has for his mastery of his alchemy. But you manage to wrest him loose, and he begins to fall into the dark water.
But he still has a hold of
Kurt's
the hold of the rope still.
tied way down.
The rope has a hold of him.
Okay, all right, okay.
Yeah, the rope has a hold of him. So without any ceremony, he splashes into the water and begins to gurgle. And you see one of the flying apes flies off, and then the other two begin a circular descent spiral around where Astir landed. It looks like they're considering going in for him. All right, so that was DBS. So Astir, Ian, it's on you. Unless, unless David, you want the creatures to go first.
Yeah, let's get them out of the way.
Okay.
Yeah.
They move downward, and one of them, Ian, is going to make a grab for you. I am going to compel the dark and rainy night, so you will get +2 to your defense. How will you defend yourself from the grab?
I'm going to try to use my lore. I'm basically going to try to summon a severe wind gust, since these are flying creatures.
Okay.
To blow them off target.
Well, okay, that will be something that you can do on your action.
Oh, I can't do that.
Are you using it to defend yourself?
Yeah, it says here sorcery defend.
Okay.
I can use lore to defend against.
Okay.
It says I can use it against hostile magic or supernatural effects, so maybe I can't use it in this case.
No, I'm good with that. So you begin to chant as the flying monkey descends downward, and it attempts to grapple you. So now what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to make your lore roll.
Okay.
And you'll defend with that as you attempt to summon a witch wind to blow it away.
Yeah, so let's see. I just roll the dice and add my lore, which is 4. 4 plus 3 is 7.
3. Holy crap. Okay, so you actually succeed with style, and I will give you a boost, which means that it flew down towards you and made a grab, and as you began your chant and waved your arms about, a witch wind basically snatched it out of the sky and blew it somewhere. So now you can place a temporary aspect on it. Is it disoriented?
On that
Is
creature,
it in the water? Right, because you succeeded with it.
Yeah, let's say I blew it down into the water and it's now, we will say, can I say drowning?
Well, it's in the water.
Or
so
yeah, let's just say it's waterlogged.
Well, waterlogged.
Because it has wings.
Yeah.
They have feathered wing?
Leather.
Leather, okay, well.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because it's not going to be good for it to fly. Anyway, all right, so your wind blows. DBJ, Ian, I'm going to give you a fate point as your witch wind blows the boat as well. DBJ, I want you to make.
Sorry.
I want you to make a drive roll for the boat against a great 4.
Okay.
What did you get, Ian? A 5? You got a 5, right?
No, I had a 7.
Yeah. Well, there you go. All right, so make it against the 7.
Now, my navigational skill's 5, and I roll, and I come out with neither a bonus or a penalty. A 5.
All right. So you can succeed at a serious cost, or you can fail.
Hey Jim, can he invoke any of his aspects that might help him out?
Yeah, he can.
Yeah, I don't want to drown. Okay. I'm going to invoke, spend a fate point, and I'm going to invoke Captain Without a Ship, because this is the closest thing I've gotten to even having a ship, and I refuse to let it go down and sink with my paycheck on board. So yeah, so I'm going to spend a fate point and at least try to keep us from drowning, if not able to get us closer to shore.
Okay, so you've tied it now, right? 5 becomes a 7?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, it's from Marvel Heroic. So you've tied it, but you didn't succeed. So you get a boost. So pick either Guylan or Vagir, and one of them has to get off the boat. One of them is going to get tossed from the boat.
Let's see. Let's get
Vagir is an excellent swimmer. I can
It's
vouch
got to
for
be
that.
me. The other guy's wearing medium armor. He'll drown.
No, let's not let Vagir. Let's
Your
not
paycheck.
DPS.
Remember your paycheck.
Yeah, but you put your grubby hands on the rudder, so you've got to go. So yeah, he gets dumped in the water.
All right, so you see Guylan goes over the side, and luckily, as you go down, Guylan, the water, the depth is only about 15 feet. I mean, it's not really that deep. So you hit the ground and kind of push yourself back up, but your armor is pulling you down. You reach out a white-knuckled grip hand, and you're holding on to the bow of the ship, and but your hand is slipping, and you're falling back in. So that was it. So Ian,
I haven't had my turn yet, right?
no, you have not.
Right.
So it's your action.
Are there any more of these monkey things around?
There's one of them that's flying around, and the other one is far away, had moved towards the shoreline.
He's running away. I'll leave him be. The one that's still nearby that could still be a potential threat. Astir is really irritable. He's lost most of his alchemical stuff and powders and all his fancy stuff. He's soaking wet in water. Not a great swimmer. So he starts to chant and reaches up towards the sky, and the thunder intensifies and the clouds darken. And he's going to attempt to summon a bolt of lightning to strike the remaining flying monkey man.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So what that's going to be is there in this campaign, there is a dynamic that I have here called corruption.
I see that,
And it's basically a check against wizards just going crazy. So the first spell that you cast, that's going to cost you 1 stress of corruption.
Okay.
This one is a direct damage, and it's obvious. So this one is going to cost you 3.
Cost me 3. So that means I'd mark off that corruption stress box 3?
Yes.
How do you recover that?
Your highest corruption stress box leaves at the end of the scene, and then you do things called milestones, which is achieving goals that you set, and then it goes away. So as you go from scene to scene,
right,
basically it will eventually step back. But if you try to do too much magic in too short of a period of time, or too obvious, it'll, being Conan, it'll affect you, and then you'll take
one more quick
consequences.
question. What happens when I overdose on corruption?
You start to take consequences, and those consequences can be unbalancing of your mind, pus-filled sores, your body can get twisted. You're familiar with Conan. People will come out with a leg of an animal or something like that.
It's very thematic. I like it.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So that does not deter me from what I want to do. I'm going to try to summon a lightning bolt from the sky because I'm pissed off at these things.
Okay.
So that's uses my lore, which is 4.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just do my roll here first. Because it's -1, that makes it a 3.
Got any aspects you can ping?
I'm thinking about it, actually, yeah. Yeah, let's go with knowledge is power, since I'm using my knowledge
That's
of
the trouble, right?
That's right. I can still use it, can I? Or is there something special about that?
No, no, that's fine. But your trouble aspect is generally going to be something that causes you issues. In this case, you can use it. You understand that knowledge is power, and you know that you're probably using too much forbidden knowledge to summon a lightning bolt out of the sky and
Mm-hmm.
strike this thing, but you're pissed.
Yep, I
So,
am.
you go on right through it.
Okay, yep, go on. I've marked out the fate point, so that makes it a 5.
Okay. So it takes 5 points of damage. And
I'm still cursing in the median.
it doesn't have that much stress, and it explodes into a gooey, bloody pulp that lands into the water, into the dark water with sploosh, 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 entrails dropping from the sky, brain matter, etc.
And a bit of foreshadowing of my unfortunate future. I laugh maniacally.
And you see the lightning, thunderclap hits and lightning strikes. All right, so you see the other ape is trying to. Oh, I'm sorry. That was the end of that first round. Who goes first in the second round? You can make yourself go as well.
So I could either make myself go, or I could make anybody else go if I wanted to.
Yes, including my opponents or my NPCs.
Yeah, you know what? Why not? Let's see what they do, because I want to see how he reacts. I'll let the bad guys go.
Okay, so the one flying ape that's there is actually as athletic as it is. Apes do not swim unless they have to. Their muscle mass is very thick, and it looks like he's trying to make his way towards the shore, but the leather wings are causing problems in the undertow, and it doesn't look like he's going to survive long.
I laugh more.
But his action is he moves a zone towards the shore, so he has 2 more zones to go before he makes it to the shore.
Awesome.
All right, so I did that. So, Vagir, you're up.
So, seeing my blood brother is still in the water, I will pick up the rope and pull him in.
Well, you also see Guylan hanging on to the side of the boat, and his armor is clanging in the wind, and it looks like he's losing his grip.
See, I think I'd probably save my friend though.
Yes, you would, because I will compel you as such.
Okay.
That's your blood brother, so get a fate point. And what are you going to do to save a steer?
So I'm going to pick up the rope with the grappling hook at the end and just like haul it in with my enormous boat.
All right. So it's absolutely nothing. A steer weighs $150 if he weighs anything, and you just pull him in and pull him up onto the boat, and you see he has a crazed look in his eye, and he just looks pissed. All kinds of. You've seen him upset. And one of the things that you do as his buddy is to try to reel him in from going too dark into the sorcerer.
I'd grab his kind of like put my hand on his neck, and like look him in the eyes and be like, "Hey, snap out of
it." He's looking about, laughing maniacally.
Winged apes, man, winged apes.
So
all
if
right.
he's still maniacal, I'll shake him and be like, "Hey, focus."
Okay, so you guys are kind of careening a little westward still, and DBJ has to make 2 more successes or get a success with style in order to make it to the shoreline. But you guys have Guylan here, and his gauntleted hand is slipping. Bless you. So Lloyd, you went. Who goes next?
I'll have Guylan go, see if he can pull himself up.
All right, go ahead, Guylan. That's going to be a 2 with athletics.
I will compel Mitros. You have my word for what it's worth. Don't forget this coin purse. Help me up, or at least command these fools to help me up.
I'm busy.
All right.
Get on board with this.
All right.
So he's compelling an aspect, which means that DBS is giving DBJ a fate point. If you don't want it, you can give DBS a fate point and buy it off.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. All right. So you've given your word, and even though you're a ruthless SOB, you understand that there has to be some type of law, you know. And if you give your word, you try to, you know, live up to your end of the bargain, and you're not going to get paid if Guylan doesn't make it.
Right.
So you grab out your hand and pull him up.
All right, I roll into the ship, or the boat rather, because it's not a ship, sputtering and coughing, and end up on my side. And I kind of, and I can only imagine that the boat is kind of rocking to and fro, kind of violently, probably at this point. And I kind of sputter some more and kind of look up, you know, with all the rain and the water, salt water in my eyes, and look up and see the big booted foot that's near me of Vagir, and I kind of scowl at him. Thanks for nothing.
I'm not even paying attention. I'm trying to snap Astir out of it. I'm still like shaking him. I'm like, hey, come on, snap out of it.
All right, so I'm going to take some dramatic license. The encounter is all but over. Everybody gets a fate point. Your ship dashes into the coral reef, and you guys, the little skiff gets destroyed. However, you guys are close enough to be able to make it to the shoreline, and you wash up on the white sand beach. Although you really can't see the color because it's pitch black out. To the east lies the cove, Pirates Cove, which is about a 2-mile journey, but you guys feel like you've been through the ringer already. Guylan, take charge.
Good luck at that with these ruffians that I'm I'm partnered with. I'll get to my feet and kind of hopelessly brush off the sand that's on my my person, and look around. There it is. Pick my my round shield up and heft it on my arm, and make sure that my blade is at my side. And then I'll kind of straighten my my cloak, and then look with my fists on my you know, hips. Look at these other 3 that are standing there, and say, "Now, which way?"
I'll run a hand through my hair and whip the water at the young lord. I'm not impressed with him. It's up to you.
Well,
You're commanding this expedition, I believe, your lordship, and do a dramatic bow.
The vibe that you get from Guylan is that he's well studied, but he just doesn't have a lot of real world application.
Right.
And you know, he's trying to give orders, and he's been trained to stand a certain way and speak at a certain inflection, and you know, it's kind of comical to you who
Right. I'm the opposite, really.
Yeah, you've been in fights and you've killed bunches of people, and even to Mitros, who is actually a real leader of men, even though he's scum and he's been hated. He has experience in it, and even Astir, you know, he understands that this guy is a young man, you know, barely in his early 20s, and you know, he's probably been tutored and just needs some experience.
Mitros.
Here's,
I stand facing Island. Just there's like caked sand in my hair and sopping wet, but I don't bother to even rinse myself off. I'm just used to it, and I literally just point my finger to the east and go, it's that way.
All right. So after about an hour and a half of march, you guys make it towards to Pirates Cove, and you can see that as you guys are moving in, more they're little shacks, little yeah, for lack of a better word, wooden houses all about, and then you see wharves and docks and what look like warehouse buildings. And as you guys move further into the cove, you see that there has to be 100 ships. I mean, like the tri-masted ships, big, huge ships, small ships, ships of all kind. They're unloading boxes and loading equipment, and you hear food cooking and cat calling. There's a hustle and bustle going on. You see their prostitutes about, their people hawking wares, and it has to be, it's still pitch black. It's still midnight. Uh, it's just busy, full of people. This particular area, there is an inn called the House of Sereno. There are a bunch of warehouses again. There's a brothel. There's a tavern close by.
Was Aster able to salvage anything at all from the various powders and chemicals and stuff that he brought with him? Any vials that washed up on the beach, or?
Yeah, he was able to grab a bag that had some wax stoppered items.
Okay.
Just
glass vials and
yeah,
bottles.
glass vials and such. But
Anything
a
in
lot of
would have
the
been ruined anyway.
yeah, a lot of the powders and stuff are just gone. His writing utensils and papers and stuff like that ruined.
He would like to try to, I suppose, if possible, while we're here in the Pirates Cove, if he can recoup any of that stuff. Obviously, it's going to cost coin or whatever, but just to try to get some more lighting materials. And
Okay, so you look around and you familiar with what a barker is? The people who, hey, come over here. We're selling this. Hey, okay. So you see those guys are all over the place. They have kids barking. They have women barking. They have all kinds of people selling all types of stuff. But the situation is so overwhelming for you because you've never been in this social type of situation before. It's almost as if someone cast a confuse spell on you. I mean, you're just kind of looking around and, this smell is wafting. What is that? Is that a drug? Is that an incense? What is that? And you see, people kind of on the ground, alms for the poor. People, come up to you with signage and stuff saying, my tongue was put out. Please spare any coin that you can. So you wouldn't know where to start.
I kind of I'm darn near giddy, and I'm almost dancing on my tip and spreading my arm.
Hello?
Yeah, we're still here. I think we lost DBJ though.
I think DBJ froze up.
Yep.
I was going to say, in order to try to accomplish the goal I was looking for, that would be like a resource check originally, anyway, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Would I be able to use a stunt called I've Read About That? Saying that I've read hundreds if not thousands of books on a wide variety of topics. You can spend a fate point to use lore in place of any other skill for one roll or exchange, provided you can justify having read about the action you're attempting. I've read about all kinds of chemical reagents and things of that sort.
Okay, I'll allow that.
So it costs me a fate point, which I'll mark off now.
Your difficulty, you're trying to acquire alchemical ingredients.
Yeah,
right?
Like you're trying to recover some of the stuff that I lost. Like you said, I lost all my lighting materials. I presume I'd need lighting materials for some of the ritual stuff and stuff like that anyway. So.
Yep. All right. So that's going to be great. A great difficulty, which is a 4.
A 4. Okay. Well, my lore is a 4. So let me get my dice stream up here and give a roll. So that's +2. That gives me a 6.
All right. So you guys, as you're standing there and you see Mitros has a look of glee in his eye because he's in his element. Did Lloyd go? Is Lloyd here? Lloyd?
It says cats were fighting?
Oh, is that what he said? Oh, yeah, that's what he said, yeah.
All right,
And
so
DBJ's back too, Jim.
Okay. A steer goes wandering off. He has a familiar glint in his eye, and it looks like he sees a symbol of some signage, and he just walks off in that direction, just kind of obliviously, opens up the door and goes into a squat, dark building that has some odd smoke emanating from the inside, and he disappears from the scene.
It's totally legit, guys. It's fine.
And Vagir is looking around, and you see half-naked women are kind of hanging on poles outside of a brothel house, and you see Vagir is like, ah. He's kind of staring the woman down, and then Vagir, you turn around, and the steer is gone.
Oh, crap. This guy. Never a moment's respite.
All right, hold on. Hold that thought. All right, DBJ, you were giddy.
Oh yes,
Why were you giddy?
because I'm in my element. I love it, and maybe this might be my one opportunity to make inroads back in with the pirates here, since I know that essentially there's like a price on my head, like I've been exiled, and so I'm ready. I'm ready to make that next move to come on in. I mean, Galen's going to get me paid, and yeah, I'm in my element now.
Okay. All right, so.
But I wanted to warn them about getting their pockets picked and watching their purse, but I guess that's fell on deaf ears. So.
Well, there's a hustle and bustle going on, so if it's going to happen, it probably has already happened, as people pull wagon carts full of just all types of goods that you've seen from Far East Vindia, Kitai. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff. You don't know what's legit. You have to assume that everything here is illegal. And Guylan, you notice a small child is looking at Mitros intently and kind of nods and ducks off into the brothel house.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, he may be into that type of thing, I don't know, but I pay no mind to it.
Okay. All right, so Mitros, you reason that there are a number of people on the island that may be able to help you with information. Number one.
I'm sorry. I was going to find a place to get a stiff drink, and kind of casually pass the name of Publius around, see if I could, see if he's somewhere, because I'm sure this place changes. If you leave, it probably, the stores and locations of people change all the time. So
Okay.
I was going to.
Hey, we don't have time for that. We have to find my beloved.
Well, you have to find a steer because the steer is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect opportunity to get a drink.
Hey guys, I'm fine. I can take care of myself.
What's going on here?
Okay,
Where's it
you see where.
I command all of you to stay right here.
You and your commands.
Did a steer just vanish? I was away for a second. Did he just?
Yeah, a steer just. You were looking at the
brothels.
hookers, at the
Of course,
whores, and
as always.
yeah.
Right,
when
typical.
when you turned around, a steer was gone.
Okay. There's no sign of him at all. That's unfortunate. Okay.
All right, so you see a figure approaches you.
Who? Approaches who?
This guy.
Oh, look at this guy.
Who's he approaching?
He approaches your group
Oh, okay.
and says, "You there?" He says, "Which of these are your slaves? I purchased the burly one, the Northman. I'll purchase him for 5 golden coins. You give Sadur, good deal, yes?"
I will step forward and say, "Hey, I have no man's property."
He says, "On your leash, slave. Know your place. You speak to Sadir. I am king in the slave pits on Pirate's Cove." "Okay, you drive hard bargain." And he's looking at Guylan. 7 golden coins.
I kind of stand there with my mouth open, like, what? And I kind of look over, or I do look over at Vagir.
Do you use him to stud?
What? I shake my head. I shake my head. No. He's not for sale. Please.
You drive hard bargain. Sadur give you 10. And you see he holds up 8 fingers. 10 golden coins. That is my last offer. He says, you have to be careful. You deal with Sadir honestly. Otherwise, the knight may take your slave away.
I'll poke him in the chest.
Who?
I'll say, "Hey, I have no master but the open sky."
He says, perhaps Sadur chose incorrectly. He says, enjoy your stay in Pirate's Cove. And you see he goes walking off, and he has a group of small female children with him.
I'll make an obscene gesture at him as he leaves.
All right, so here's what you guys know. Mitros,
Yeah.
you know that there is the Lord Marshal Tyros. You know that there is a sheriff named Pasto Zamoran. You know the Madam of the Brothel is a Hyrcanian woman named Lenara. And you know that the person who handles slavery here, his name is Goldun, a Shemite. So these are people that you reason may still entertain speaking to you, minus Tyros. They may entertain speaking to you. If Tyros found out about it, he probably would kill all of you guys. So you need to make yourselves scarce and get off the docks and find somewhere to hole up.
Okay.
All right, Astir, you've made your purchases while they've been standing here, and you see Astir comes out with a satchel of stuff that he's holding in his arms.
Is he smiling now, looking content?
He's looking more. He's looking very, very more content. Very much more content.
Mm-hmm.
Just give him a withering look. You.
Okay, so you guys are holed up in a tavern in the house of Serbo, trying to figure out what your move is.
Now, if I may, I'd like to invoke one of my aspects.
Okay.
My reputation precedes me. I want to get the attention, or maybe even find a young runner or something to get the attention of Lenara at the brothel and see if I can get in touch with her, since she's one of the few that I'm thinking will actually speak to me. So, and hearing my name may have her at least want to see if it really is me, and if my reputation actually does precede me.
Okay. All right, so your reputation does precede you, and there was what was there? The child saw you, right?
Okay.
The child had already marked you as being here, so she comes without consequence. And this is who you see.
Okay.
If I can find her.
Ooh, her,
A
huh?
flame-haired, fair-skinned beauty. Doesn't look like a madam of any sort. As she enters the doorway, she slides her cloak, or her hood down because it's still raining outside, and she slides in and she sees you, and she comes over and sits at the table and kind of gives Vagir a sideways glance as he tears through some kind of rabbit, bare hands, no silverware, no nothing. He's just pulling it apart, and muscle and viscera are kind of flying all over the place.
I'll be sure to flex if she looks in my direction.
Okay, she says, "What are you doing here? He'll kill you. You know he will if he finds out that you're here."
Nara, you make too much of a big deal about it. Listen, I'm here with some friends, and maybe even hope to buy my own ship if the tides go in my favor. But
Says, "You've received a black mark. You're not supposed to be here." He almost killed you once. You barely got away. Are you willing to risk fate again? And you see she looks at Guylan and Astir, and then at Vagir.
Did we know this?
Says, "Is this your new first mate?"
Why, yes. They are the founding members of my sailing crew.
Okay,
Yes.
Hold on. Guylan, I am going to compel your young Kothian lordness, and you can't let anybody speak for you. I mean, you're a lord, and you have to distinguish yourself as such by introducing yourself as such.
All right. Hold. We can't sit here and let this man.
Are you going to take my commitment?
Yes, I am. Sally my station, and I flourish my still soaking wet cloak and send a spray of water onto her as I bow deeply, and say and let her know that I am Guylan of first son of House Hadon, at your service, madam.
Okay, you see people kind of turn in the tavern and are looking over at your table.
I'll give it a burp.
All right, so you see.
My lady, you must know, those who risk nothing have nothing to gain, and surely we have everything to gain now.
Okay, you see, she says, "Your eyes, they burn like coals. What manner of man are you?" Looking at Astir.
A man of fiery passions, I assure you.
Okay, she says, "Perhaps those passions can be assuaged at my brothel. I have girls. You have coin?"
I prefer women, and I don't like to buy them.
I see.
Yeah, we prefer to take them.
Okay, you see, she kind of jumps with the start, and she says, "Oh, I see." And she turns back to Mitros and Guylan. She says, "And you all, these are your companions, Wavebreaker?"
Well, in truth, Guylan does hold the purse, and I'm honor bound to follow him, as young as he is.
Mm-hmm.
I need information from you.
What type of information?
There are too many ears around us now, but it involves the House of Sereno. Is that correct?
The inn? That's the inn. That's where you guys are.
Oh, that's not the keep. That's not the.
It's just known as the fort.
Okay.
Lady Darhos.
Count Darjos.
Darjos, Lady
Lady
Darjos.
Nashira.
Yeah, or, okay.
Nashara.
Well, I tell her our plans are to make our way there, but
Make your
we
way
have
where?
to the fort. There are far too many ears and eyes around for us to continue this conversation. Let us go someplace safer. To your House of Pleasures would probably be the safest location.
Okay, she says, very, very well. Okay, all of a sudden, with a start, you hear, "Everyone out now on authority of the Lord Marshal." And you see a person standing in the doorway alone, looking thus.
I can take him.
And as he speaks, you see the people sort of delay, and then he says, "Now!" And then they haul ass out. And then you see he holds his hand up and points to Lenara. "Not you, traitor. You sit." Okay, so he slinks his way in, and you know him, Mitros, as Pasco, the sheriff of Pirates Cove. Basically, he is Tyros's lieutenant, his main, captain, rather.
I kind of harumph and stand up, feeling some false courage, being that I have 3 other companions with me here. And I say, "Sir, you'll not speak to the lady in that manner."
If there was a lady to be spoken to. You see he spats on the ground and begins walking over towards you.
Everyone, settle down. Please, I'm sure we can talk about this.
He says,
So
"Silence
we can
yourself in
join
the
us."
meeting." He says, "Join you, you say?" He says, "Do you know the man that you sit and break bread with?" And he points
This is
to
my brother Vagir.
He says, "No."
And some pompous lord who's hired us.
And he points to Mitros.
He's
He
like,
says,
"Who? What?"
"He's a duplicitous asp. You would do well to find yourself better company in a median."
Can I buy you a drink, sir?
Okay, he sits.
I'll go up to the bar to get a round of drinks.
Okay, the bartender's gone.
The bartender's gone. I'll go behind the bar
Okay.
and pour our drinks.
All right, so you see he sets his eyes burning into Mitros's, and he says, "You two-headed bastard." He says, "What are you doing here? You have the black mark. You know you cannot be here upon pain of death. When I notify Tyros," he says, "you cannot have a ship in the cove. Do
I'll
you
give
have a ship in the cove?"
a look to Astir, and I'll give him like this sort of wink. That's like the you know what to do. The poison in the cup.
I
Like we've
don't
done this
have
100 times.
I don't have any powder of the Black Lotus, unfortunately, because all my good stuff washed away off the shore of this godforsaken island. But I do have something that I just picked up that I'd like to slip into his drink. And what it does is basically within about 3 minutes of ingestion, it causes explosive diarrhea, which lasts for up to an hour.
Okay.
And I'm going to just try to sip some of that into his cup.
Okay, so you start putting the little mixtures into his cup, and boom, it's there, and you kind of stir it so that it's not, not seen, and then you bring the cups over to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And he takes the cup, and he says, "What are you doing here with a lordling, Wavebreaker?"
Well, a sailor always has to have a ship. I arrived in one. But this black mark thing, you and I don't have to explain to you what happened. I will settle this with Tyros himself.
Tyros will kill you when he sees you, and anyone that you're with, anyone that trucks with you.
Slam my fist on the table. No man can defeat Vagir Broken Axe.
Okay, so you see he says, this swill tastes like piss. He says, I'll let you know that I have 10 boys outside waiting for you to leave.
Only 10?
All right, Ian, make a craft attack.
Okay. I have a stunt for that as well.
Okay, and he's going to resist with his physique.
I have a +2 bonus to craft skill checks when creating advantages or effects based on alchemy.
Okay.
So craft is a 3, so I get +2 for potions and powders. That makes it a 5.
Okay. And he is going to get a...
Oh. I got a 3.
Okay, so he got a...
hit an aspect and re-roll if you want.
And you can invoke an aspect and re-roll.
Yeah, I can just spend a fate point to re-roll completely, right?
But you have to basically tag an aspect. And so
I'm trained as a maester.
There you go.
Yeah, they can't roll much worse than that one. So
yeah,
I would hope not. Okay, well, that makes it a 4.
Okay, so he got a 5. So you can. Is there another aspect that you can tag?
Another aspect. I can't tag the same aspect twice, of course, right?
Right.
I could tag deception over confrontation.
Okay, so this is a surreptitious act, and you spend the fate point.
I'm down to 0.
And that'll bring it up to what, a 6?
A 6.
Okay, so that will put the aspect of explosive diarrhea. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's just what it gives us like an advantage, right?
The bubble guts.
Yeah, he's got the bubble guts.
Create an advantage or effect. Yeah, he's
All right, so you see he's talking. He says, "Well, and the boys, and you."
Yeah, not so tough now, are you, buddy?
You smell a stench, kind of waft. And
I put a handkerchief over my face.
And you see Lenara is like, oh my God.
I look at him and say, did you shit yourself?
And he's like, he says, you watch yourself, Mitros. You watch yourself. Tyros is going to come for you. And you see he leaves out, and you can just see he's soiled as he runs towards the door with the green apple quick steps. He's
Look at him! Look at his pants!
I'll slap Aster on the back and say, "Pup can't hold his ale."
That's not all he can't hold.
And you see he exits the scene. You guys have defeated him.
I think we should get the fuck out of here.
I have a question. Did we know this about Mitros, that he's not allowed to come here?
No.
Oh.
So, Wavebreaker.
It's just a minor thing. I'll get it cleared up as soon as we're at the fort.
You told
Throw my cup. What happened?
Calm yourself, Vagger. We wouldn't have even gotten here if it weren't for him.
We're not going to get out of here because of him.
But another important thing that a steer thinks of is how the hell are you guys going to get away?
Was the well? Okay, never mind.
Well, I mean, oh, you mean away from here? Away
Yes.
from this bar?
Yes.
Oh, well,
No, not the bar.
Off the
island.
The island.
well, we're gonna have to steal a ship, obviously.
Mitros will commandeer us a vessel, of course.
That's why we have a. That's why we have this pirate lord with us, right?
He did say he was admired and respected here.
Admired is hardly the right
And
word.
Guylan can sort of handle a rudder.
No, no more
Vagger is
runners
good
for
with
me.
ropes and sails, and
I'll take my place in the captain's cabin. Thank
I
you.
don't understand what you all are playing at. What are you all talking about? Appropriating a ship, stealing a ship. I don't understand this. Get away. What are you all playing at?
At the island, yeah, so I guess we can talk.
Yeah,
Mike-
Lennar, listen. There's politics afoot, and the Lord and these other gentlemen here are here to, I don't know, rescue a young lady or some such. And I need to. The important thing is for me to return my name and have everyone here fear me, fear the pirate that I am. I cannot live another day without my ship, my crew. No one knows what happened, but I will let everyone know that I am the one that has been wronged in this situation. I was the one that lost the crew. I should have gone down with the ship. I'm sorry.
Those sound like adventurer problems to me.
I
Yes.
lean forward and produce a small painted portrait of my lady love, and I show it to her.
I've
And I
seen
say,
that girl.
Huh?
I've seen that girl.
What, you have? Tell us.
She
Where?
was in Tyros's villa
No!
a fortnight ago.
Mitros, you promised you'd help me rescue her.
She says if Tyros has her, you probably don't want her back now.
That devastates me. I kind of sit back and slouch in my seat, kind of looking at the picture, kind of stroking the frame. See, my voice is cracking up. The frame that it's in, and then I look up, eyes of fire, and holding back the almost tears, possibly, and I say, "We will find her."
Find yourself another girl, stripling. This one is with the Lord Marshal. And I don't think that I want to have anything else to do with whatever you all are into, Mitros. It's not worth it in the end for me. I have a business to run, and you brought me ruin once, and you're not going to bring me ruin again by throwing my lot in with you.
I grab her by the wrist in a strong grasp, and I say, "Fine, if you're a woman of business, then obviously gold is what you understand, which seems to be the only thing of importance in this place. And I'll tell her I'll pay whatever it costs for you to help us."
You don't look like you have much, lordly.
And don't forget that you've already been seen conspiring with us here by, Lieutenant Shitz's pants.
Well, perhaps in the median, I'll go to Tyros and tell him that you're here to rebalance that scale. And you see,
Perhaps you'll never leave this room alive. Right, Vagir?
now,
I hold my hand up and say, "You've heard of my family. The Hatter name is well known," invoking a rapport.
You're invoking who?
I'm going to evoke a stunt if I need to, or use a stunt if I need to convince her to help.
Okay, your companion threatens my very life, and you expect me to be complicit?
Oh, you're already.
I will compel her. I'm a businesswoman first aspect, because she said she's a lady of business, right?
Yes. That's what she said, right?
Yeah. So I'm hitting her with that for a fate point. See if that'll help.
Okay, you see, she kind of pushes you off of her and nods and looks over at Astir and Vagir and then sits back down. And she says, then let's get to accounts.
So
All right.
Seer takes his hand off the pouch of the powder that he was fondling and
The
decides to leave the powdered hallucinogenic mushroom powder right where it was. And okay, fine.
Okay, so she sits down and says, so it was a fortnight that this woman, that I saw her at the Lord Marshal's villa, but I have not seen her since. I offered him 5 talons, which he laughed at. The woman seemed exceptionally pure, young, and intact. She would have been a prize for a rich noble to be her first.
Where is this villa located?
Just to the northeast of town, just right outside of town.
Is it well guarded?
Absolutely. But I'm sure I can secure an audience with Tyros if needed.
The only audience we're going to need is to put a blade across his throat.
Well, I'm not so against that. However, you must understand that power abhors a vacuum. And once he's killed, it can cause chaos on for the cove. Chaos is not good for my business.
I look at Mitros and say, perhaps this is your opportunity.
I would love nothing more than to remove him from his makeshift throne, and but I think my place is at the sea. But I do have an idea. I made a promise to you, Galen, and maybe you can present me to Tyros as a bounty, and we could have a meeting with him so that we can get into the grounds. I would only agree to do that for you.
And how would we get out of the ground?
That's where you come in.
Kill everyone. Well, Tyros can be a reasonable, if not a simple, man.
Is this her saying this?
This is her, Lenara, yes. He's a simple man, but it's possible that he can be reasoned with given a sufficient argument. And
his argument stands upon the mountain of 100,000 gold crowns. Correct?
She doesn't know what the ransom is.
I just said it. I said
100,000.
And it's a madman's dream.
That's a king's ransom.
Exactly.
For the girl? What is so special about her? And you see she kind of...
She's lovely.
Oh, so am I.
But she's just one of many. Surely you could just find another one.
Watch your tongue, dog.
So shall I handle the introduction of the young lord and his entourage?
I look around at the rest.
Having captured Mitros Wavebreaker to Tyros?
What say you?
Are we going to have a problem with, that guy that just ran out of here?
You tell us. How long will he be...
How quickly can we move?
Well, that was a potent...
It would only be a matter of time if Pasco were to notify Mitros.
So we better move quickly then.
I would say so, yes.
Well, we've gotten out of worse situations, right, Vagir?
Just nod.
Vagir is a worse situation.
Yeah. Waiting to happen.
All right, so, she looks at Guylan and Mitros, waiting for a yay or nay. Looking more towards Guylan now because he's beginning to assert himself as leader a little bit more.
In this reckless cause. All right, I look at them one more time, and then I turn to her and I nod and say, "Do it, woman."
All right, so you see she...
But I grab her arm, but seek not to betray us.
He says, you still have not set a price.
How much would a well-bred horse go for, Jim?
Says possibly 100 pieces of gold.
Okay, then I will tell her your weight in gold.
Okay, you see her eyebrow raises, and she smiles, and she bows deeply. She says, "My lord," and then she leaves out. Okay.
Okay.
I'd like to just while they're sealing the deal, I grab a bottle of yes rum off the bar, dump out half of it, so it's about half full. Pour in another powder that I have. It's like basically a kind of a stimulant type powder, and I'm basically whipping up a potion, which I've done.
Potion of Viagra.
But it's a potion I've done in the past. It's kind of a berserking potion for Vagir.
Okay.
It gives him basically a battle rage kind of advantage.
Got a bunch of hot chili peppers in it.
All right, so you can.
It's liquid cocaine.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so he's got a.
We don't want to mellow him out. We want to.
Berserk potion.
If you want me to roll, I've got that potion.
Go ahead.
Later when we
make the berserk potion. It's going to be a 5.
Oh, crap. Maybe I should have thought this through.
Stuff is difficult.
You've got a 5, right?
I have a 5, but Dice Stream has not been kind to me today. Okay, I got a 5.
Okay, so the berserk potion has been created, and you hand it to Vagir, who basically tucks it in his loincloth.
Yeah.
That's a bottle. I'm not glad to see you.
You know when to use that.
There you go. Okay, so about an hour passes.
I'll also say that if we're going to be going potentially getting in fights, I'm going to need more axes.
It's true. I've seen him work.
Ymir smiles on me sometimes, but when battle comes upon me, he has a way of breaking my axes.
Well, maybe someone left something in their rush to leave here when the sheriff came in. Look around.
Ding, ding, ding. Okay, you see some little hatchet axes, and like the mariner's axes, basically that they use to hook onto stuff and kind of pull them up.
Boarding axes.
Yeah, you get the little boarding axes in.
Excellent.
Sure, I'll put like as many as I can in my loincloth.
And loincloth is getting kind of full there, bro.
That's right.
It's already full. Don't worry about
it. All right. So about an hour later, you guys are standing in a large villa, and it has quite a few niceties about it. Works of art, statues, vases, not vases, vases, and things, nice fabrics and such. And you see that there are 2 half-naked women that are just lounging about on large pillows. And into the room,
Stay focused, Vagir.
strides Tyros. Tyros, I said? Okay.
Oh.
No hammer.
He's younger.
No hammer just yet, but you see the hammer that he has in the picture is on like a mantelpiece. It's a stylized Vanner rune-etched hammer made of stone and bone. All right, so he comes out and he says, "Circles of hell, Mitros Wavebreaker, you snake." He says, "You slither your Argosian ass back to my island. Are you here to pay me retribution. He says, and who are these fools that you have assembled with you?
Fool!
No guards. Guards are on the outside. You guys passed probably 10, 15 guards around the outside of the house, but they're just the two girls, two women, and him.
When he says fool, I'll raise my big, huge axe over my head and say, I am no fool, I am Vagir Broken Axe of Vanaheim.
He says, obviously you are not the brains of this endeavor. Okay, you see Lenara kind of steps up, and she says, Tyros, is, as I explained to you, this is Lord Gailen Hadun of the House Hadun, and these are his companions. They have brought Mitros Wavebreaker to your justice.
Okay, at that I'll step forward, and I won't bow to him, but I'll take a step forward and I'll wave my hand towards Mitros, and I'll say, we've brought this pirate here as hoping that there would be some reward for him.
Hold on, let me get the aspect on.
Damn curtains everywhere is such a good aspect.
Actually, that is good.
Okay.
Sickly sweet incense smell. So there's some kind of source of fire. Are there any braziers?
Yes, there are braziers all about, and the smell is just kind of wafting, and you're not so much affected by it because you're kind of used to, you know, this stuff, but the others are like, you know, caught in my throat.
Excellent.
And,
I'm used to this.
huh?
I said I'm used to this, even though it's obvious that all of his artifacts and accoutrements are mixed matched and obviously stolen and looted from elsewhere. So I'm not too
absolutely, absolutely. They're from all over the world. All right, what do you expect, Stripling?
I kind of, well, I look and I say, stripling. I say, this is what I will say. I will compel my I will compel my inexperience. That's what I will do. And I will sputter out that know your place when you're speaking to a first son of House Hayden or Hadun. Can I get a fate point?
You can get a fate point. As he approaches you menacingly, you see he crosses the room and moves up on you. He's probably about 6'5". He's closer to Vagir size. And he looks down on you. He says, "You Argosian piece of shit." He says, "I care not for your titles. Do you know how many of your ships that I've stripped? Do you know how many of your countrymen that I have plied into slavery? Do you know how many of your own men, women, and children that I have killed? Throats cut by these hands." He says, "You are as nothing to me." He says, "But throughout all of your pomp and circumstance, you have brought me a prize." And he eyes Mitros.
Astir is edging slowly towards one of the braziers.
Okay. You see the girls. The girls are like looking. Hold on. Gotta put this in here too.
I have Mitros's blade, which I will, when the time comes, I will gladly toss it towards his way.
Okay, so you see the girls kind of are looking at a steer as he's moving about. The scene is not centered on you, so she's not one of them that you recognize in the picture, a steer. One of the two girls that are on the pillows, half naked? No. So you are moving around to flank him? Or what are you doing, a steer?
No, I was moving towards one of the braziers because I've got all these lovely powders and stuff, and I can do all kinds of nice alchemical effects. And as we all know, well, as those of us in the trade know, half of sorcery is really just science and bullshit. So
yes, there you go. Okay, so he Tyros looks at Hyland and says, "What do you expect for his in trade? Obviously, you want something."
DBJ was going to say something, Jim, before.
Yeah. No, you're fine. If I invoke one of my troubles, can I transfer a fate point to someone else? I'm not sure how. I mean, I was going to play it through, but I didn't know how mechanically that
I think
worked.
you need to compel that person's aspects, and then you give them one of your fate points.
That's it.
Oh, I have to compel one of their aspects, not one of my own?
Right.
Okay.
Like their trouble, basically.
Okay. Never mind. I'm still going to go through. I'm not going to do that, but I'm not going to perform the action. But I want to address Tyros, and I say to him, this was the last place I had my crew and my ship, and if it wasn't for your deceptions, my crew would not have turned against me. My ship would not
deceptions. You are the duplicitous one. You tried to perform a coup against me. He says, "We were brothers once, but never again."
No captain would go down with a ship of backstabbers and thieves. Everyone knows their loyalty is to the ship and crew itself.
Your loyalty should have been to me as Lord Marshal of the Cove. It goes beyond your paltry one ship. Do you know how much money is to be made here? We had it within our grasp. And then you, dog that you are, you chose to try to wrest it from my grasp. And you learned, as a cur with a tail between its legs, that I am not to be trifled with.
A crew is to follow its captain.
He walks over towards his hammer. He's walking over towards his hammer.
Okay.
Mitros? You were allied with him?
I say, a crew is to follow its captain.
He was a brother to me, as unto a brother. He says,
I'm at this point. I actually, strangely enough, I have like my shoulders kind of hunch over, like I have this defeated, like, yeah, this guy kind of kicked my ass. Yeah.
He says, and I offered him a place as my number 2. All of this could have been his to help build, but instead he chose to break it. He says, enough of this, though. This is of no consequence to what is happening now. And you see he looks over at Astir. He says, what are you doing, Nemedian?
Just admiring your incense, sir. It's a name of some kind of fancy incense, is it not?
How the hells should I know? It smells good, and I took it. It is what I do. I take that which I want, as the strong should. He looks at Vagir. He says, "Is that not correct, Vannerman?"
That is the way of things, the right way of things.
Says, you look as though you could have a place here amongst kindred spirits. The strength of your arm and sinew, allowing you to grasp that which you desire.
With enough golden women, you might sway me.
Okay, you see he kicks one of the women off of the pillow in your direction, and then pulls a small pouch from his belt and tosses it down, and it spills out golden coins at your feet.
I'll look at that, and also look across at Astir, and I know what he's up to. He's been done this a few times, and I realize that behind him there's actually a book that this guy has taken, and I figure like, oh, I know what's going on here. He's going for this book, this ancient text. I figure that's what's happening. But I'll go down and bend over and pick up the gold.
No. I'll block you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll try to block you.
Okay, you get a fate point for that. For blocking him.
I'll say since you are so free with gold coin, then we haven't yet decided what the price is for this pirate. Looking at Mitros.
Says, who says that I am willing to pay you anything? And you see he places his hand on the haft of his hand. He doesn't pick it up to wield it. He just kind of strokes it.
Was he caress it?
Yes.
Okay.
And he turns squarely to you and Bagir and has his back to Astir.
Okay, he
knows that Steer's not going to do anything.
Yeah, okay. I already know this guy. He may have even killed her by now. Who knows? And I can barely contain, my anxiety about this. So I tell him, I say, as a so-called self-proclaimed king of the pirates. I'm sure you've got enough stolen loot and booty to pay my asking price. And my price is 100,000 gold crowns.
You see his eyebrow raises.
And I'll slide Mitros his blade.
He says, that's an odd pricing. And he turns and he says, your shield. It bears the standard familiar to me.
As well it should be.
He says, is that a Kothian symbol?
Of course it is. You son of a goat.
He says, what are you here for?
I'm here for the woman, my bride, Ashira.
He says, I have plenty of women. How am I to know the one of which you speak?
Unsheathing my blade.
She may lie broken, battered, and tail in the slave pits by now.
My blade's free now.
Okay, you see, he goes to a chair and sits in the chair, but he has his hammer with him.
Okay.
In his lap.
I take a step forward and I say, you could not forget her. Her soft red lips, her deep brown eyes, and her curly scented locks that go down to her shoulders.
Well, this is
no other woman.
This is what she looks like.
Nothing. She's probably blonde and.
She's got blue eyes.
I wasn't too far off. Okay.
Oh, I know that picture.
Okay.
Thievery is estimate.
I know.
I would
go ahead.
Like to compel Astir to open this book and read a random page from it out loud while chanting. Because knowledge is power.
Well, he does have an extensive library behind him, and some of the books look like they may be books of consequence.
Well, I don't have any fate points to do.
I'll give you one.
So you got to take it. Yeah.
All right, so you get one, and you move away from the brazier and over towards one of the bookshelves.
Oh.
Start to rub your hand.
This in the common tongue.
Start to rub your hand over the leather or leatherish. It's not sure what they're made out of. The book covers.
Human skin.
Which right. All right, so you see Tyros says it is obvious that this was but a ploy. You see, he looks at Lenara, who is trying to stay as far away as possible. Says, you've damaged yourself, woman, and you've overstepped your bounds. Says, this is a game of men, not whores. He says, and you will be killed. Not now, but soon. So settle your affairs. And he turns back to Mitros and Dylan, and he says, I will not pay your exorbitant fee of 100,000 coins.
Oh, you will pay?
and the woman that you speak of is no longer in my building. I know of whom you speak.
Where is she?
He looks at you. He says, "Is she your woman as well? Is that the appeal?"
All right,
for her?
that's it.
So I'm gonna take the little. I'm gonna reach into my crotch and pull out this potion. Like pull a couple of hairs off it. And
Blow the
then
dust off of it.
unstopper it, and then just like drink it down. And I'll say, I'm only going to ask you one more time. My eye starts twitching. Where is she?
Okay, you see he points over to Dylan, and he says, "I would suggest that you leash your dog before I put him down."
Astyr tosses a pouch onto the brazier, and thick black smoke starts to billow out of it, filling the room with black smoke. Vagir has probably seen me do this before. The idea, if I roll well enough, if I crafted it well enough, is that after about 15 seconds, it's going to explode with a big burst of bright light, and then the room will be filled with black smoke. It's kind of a blinding thing.
Okay, so is it blinding with the flash, or is it blinding with the darkness?
Well, the smoke ideally would be, obviously would fill the room in darkness. But if anyone happens to look at the brazier as it goes off, then it could also serve as a double whammy. The flashbang smoke grenade combination.
Okay, so basically it's going to.
Kind of depends, I suppose.
It's going to blind. Yeah, it's going to blind.
Yeah.
Okay. So the pouch goes unerringly into the brazier, and it begins to cackle and crackle and pop, but it hasn't delivered its load just quite yet.
Mm-hmm.
So who wants to act first, since it appears that you guys are going down this road?
I will act first if you guys don't mind. And what I'm going to do is, because I've seen how Tyros seems to be very formidable, we need some kind of strategy to deal with him. Even though I'm not sure what Astyr is up to. But what I will do is I will use my action to create an advantage, and I'll call it superior numbers.
Okay. All right. So you may do that, and your difficulty is going to be great. You're going to make, difficulty is great.
Okay. So can I use my lore to do that, or would I use my fight? Well, it's the same thing. Fair.
It would be.
Actually, it says fight. When creating an advantage for another. It'll be used for the rest of the group. So for another person using fight, I just can't use it. Gain an additional invoke of the created advantage. So, okay. So do I have to say specifically who I'm creating it for? Is that how it works?
No, you can create it, but you just can't use it.
I can't use it. Okay. All right. That's fine. All right. So I have a target number of 4. So great, you said. Oh my God. Okay. All right. I will invoke my trained in the art of command to re-roll that.
Okay.
And spend a fate point to do it. And let's see if I can do a little bit better than that. Okay, so that's 2 plus my fighting is 2, so that's 4, so that's a tie. And that's going to be it.
Okay, so it's going to be basically a boost.
Okay.
So we'll call the boost initiative.
Okay.
So you hear Dylan begin to spit out commands, and Tyros rises to his full height and his hammer squarely in hand. and he says, "You all do not want to go down this road." He says, "I will slay all of you and have your heads on pikes within the hour." And
Foaming at the mouth.
you see he's sort of maneuvering himself so that he's not getting surrounded by you all.
Okay, I'll let Vagir go next.
Okay, so
And-
you can make your roll, Bagheer. Oh, I'm sorry, Bagheer, not Steer. Okay, all right, so you can do what you do.
So, kind of one eye closed, one wide open, teeth gnashing and foaming at the mouth after I've taken this heady brew of intoxicants.
Okay, so you've got the Berserk potion, and it has one free invoke for whenever you want to use that.
I will simply rush forward with my big axe, but because I fight dirty, I'll feint a swing and actually kick him in the crotch.
Oh, okay.
That's
All right,
my
so-
idea here.
Is that an attack, or are you creating an advantage?
I think I'll create an advantage called
Thank you.
right in the goodies.
Kicked in the ball, so right in the ghoulies. Yeah, good.
Feint to the gonads.
Yeah, because I'm a dirty fighting Vannerheim. Is that what it is? Vannerman.
So he's going to position himself. He's no slouch. So he's going to actively oppose your roll.
Sure.
Hey, Jim, I'm
Yes,
sorry. I got a question real quick, and because Lloyd may need it. But it says I gain an additional invoke of the created advantage. Does that apply even with a tie, or?
You didn't. No,
Because
you
I didn't create it. I just
advantage,
did a
right?
boost. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay.
Hold on. Give me 1 second, okay?
Sure.
Be right back.
This has been a lot of fun, guys.
Yeah, I'm having a great time. I got to run one of these sometime soon as well. It's an excellent setting.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, what are you doing, Lloyd?
So I want to basically run forward and feint with my big axe when I get close enough.
And
Like
kick him.
instead of swinging, just like kick him in the gonads.
Okay. All right. So that's an attack.
Okay, sure.
I
So
mean,
that'll
is
be-
it an attack unless you're trying to set up a feint maneuver, created advantage, so that next time when you actually kick him in the nads, you'll get a bonus.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll try and
Okay.
create an advantage.
All right. So
Uh,
you're maneuvering and feinting
Right.
to put him in a position to get kicked in the jump.
Right, exactly. Okay, so I'll make it with fight. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So that'll be a 3 only.
Use the initiative
Yeah.
boost if you need it.
Okay,
All right.
I'll use the boost, and I've got the Berserker potion. I'll use that too.
Okay. So the Berserker potion.
It'll put me to
Free
7.
invoke is gone. The initiative is gone because that was a boost. And he got a 2.
Wow. Okay, so I have a 7.
Wow. So you succeed with style
Right.
on your created advantage of feint. So you got 2 free invokes of that. So you're maneuvering to the side and like waving your axe around, trying to put him in a position. And you see his back is basically coming off of the wall. So now he's surroundable because you're sort of feinting hither and yon. So who goes next?
Dun, dun, dun. Let's have Aster go next.
Okay, that's Steer. Your bubbling concoction can go off. You'll make basically an attack using your craft on the
Okay.
entire room.
Yep, plus my potions of powder stunts. Again, gives me +2, so it makes it a 5.
So they're going to resist the flashing portion with their athletics, trying to shield their eyes, move out of the way. So everyone in the room. Well, actually, no. Yeah, just make an attack against that.
My total is a 6.
That is impressive. All right, let's see. He got a 2. So you've got stunned on him
Yep,
with 2 free invokes.
brilliant.
Or do you want to do mental damage to him? You wanted an attack, or are you creating an advantage?
Nope. Setting up advantage. Yep.
Okay. So two invokes of stun on him. You see what the hell? He screams out, exclaims, and you see the first reaction of the girls. They're you see they kind of fall out, so they're out of the scene.
I don't care about them.
Lenara gets caught, and she falls out, grabbing her head and eyes, and a thick smoke begins to billow out of the brazier and fill the room.
Excellent.
All right, who's
Quick
next?
question about
Yes.
the advantage that that Vagir set up. What was it
The
called
feint.
again? It was called the feint,
Feint,
yeah? And that had 2 free invokes. Can that only be invoked by him, or?
He can allow anyone else to use it.
Okay, just wondering.
Yeah.
I'm just
But
keeping
he's the owner. When you create an advantage, you're the owner. You can let your team use it, whatever. There's usually not a problem. But unless you're trying to set something up, sometimes you may want to say, I'm using this to do my super drop kick.
Got it. I just want to keep a written track of it, so thanks.
No problem. All right, so who's next?
Next will be...
There's...
Guyland's already gone, hasn't he? So it's either... right, okay.
Mitros or
Mitros or...
The
Or the
baddies.
villain.
Well, we're going to go with Tyros, yeah. We don't want Tyros to go last.
Okay, so you move up on him, Vagir, and he is going to yell a challenge, or he's going to scream a blood-curdling cry that pierces your very soul as he does it. Just a soul-wrenching. I don't know if you know how the Indians would yell and scream to invoke fear and unsurety, but it's going to be a mental attack, so you'll resist with your will. You see he screams out, and he gets a 3.
That's for all of us?
No, it's directed at Lloyd.
Oh, okay.
Even though it's screaming the entire room, he's the main focus, the focal point.
Okay, I don't have will, but I do have implacable, or implaceable, I'm not sure how you say that. That I have +2 when resisting a fear effect.
Okay, there you go.
Okay. So that'll be a 3.
Damn you. Okay. All right. So you fend him off. It doesn't do anything. So next is going to be DBJ.
All right. Is it possible for me to, because I'm getting the hell out of the way. So is it possible for me to snatch the blade from Guyland and jump behind those damn curtains that are everywhere?
Sure. So you snatch the blade from Guyland, and then basically you jump behind the curtains. You can create an advantage called hidden behind curtains or something like that if you want to do that, or you can just invoke the curtains as they are if an action gets taken against you.
I'll just do that. I'm gonna like stumble my way over some over the big puffy cushions, velveteen cushions and things, and like just do like a dive right behind the curtains. Not very athletically.
Okay, you see, he says Mitros, have a care. He says you can stop this now. No one has been killed. He says, but if you press me, I'll make sure that none of you leave this island. And you see the smoke is at the ceiling, and it's sort of falling downward.
I
says, call off your pawns.
I poke my eyes out from behind the curtain and like say, I don't trust you. I don't trust you and anything you have to say to me. But they're my friends. Leave Guyland alone. He's the one that holds the purse.
Okay, you see, he looks at you, Guyland, and says, "All of this for a woman that the
She's no ordinary woman, you scum.
the Crimson Tome Circle acolytes took."
The Crimson Tome Circle Acolytes. Wow. Have I heard of this mouthful before?
No, but Esther has.
I bet I have, yeah.
Yes. They're a group of evil Stygian sorcerers.
You allowed her to be taken to be sacrificed, you fiend!
He says they paid good gold for her. He says, but the transaction was only done the day before yesterday, so it's possible that she still may be alive, but it's not my problem.
Where did they take her?
To the fort. They've taken the fort. I no longer control the fort, and you see he looks at Mitros. So, Mitros, you know that if he doesn't control the fort, he really doesn't control jack shit, because the threat of having the fort to back him up is gone. So you see he lowers his hammer. He says, those sorceress dogs.
I kick him in the nuts.
Okay, go for it.
I was waiting for it.
The difficulty is going to be 2. He's unsuspecting.
So this is because I'm berserk now. I'm unable to stop. Wow.
Reroll. Invoke something. And reroll.
Yeah, I'll definitely dirty fighting. Invoke that and roll again.
Okay.
Wow, holy shit.
Yeah.
So you've got a stunned and a feint that you can add to whatever.
Okay, right. So I rolled horribly again. My fight is 3. That'll be 1. I'll use my feint.
Okay. So what does that bring
I'll
you
let
to?
you use the stun too if you want.
Okay, I will. So then that'll put me to a 5.
Okay. So that succeeds with style.
There you go.
So you kick him in the nads for 3, right?
That was pretty hardy.
That was a nice kick.
Lift him off the ground.
You can place a boost on him if you choose.
Sure, I'll say he's vomiting.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, so he's retching.
Pick me next, brother. Pick me
All right,
next.
so you see he drops to the ground and the hammer falls out, and he's like, and he's writhing about the ground.
I'll like
All
jump
right.
on top and just like snarl in his face like.
Okay, Mitros, that was dirty, even for some pirates. I mean, he was in the middle of a parlay, and Bagheer just came and kicked him in the junk, and now he's on the ground trying to regurgitate bile and nothingness and dry heaving and such, and rolling all about.
Hey, we're not pirates.
So Lloyd, who goes next?
That's a good question. Who's is it? Oh, was it first?
Yeah, you went first, man.
Okay. I'll have. Let's have the lordling go.
We're
I'll,
brothers, man.
You see he puts his hand up,
Who does?
Tyros.
Okay. I'll kneel down on one knee next to him, face to face, and I'll take the point of my blade and poke him in the side of the neck with it, just for effect, basically. And I'll say, why should we let you live, snake?
Because I know of a secret door into the fort.
Then that then that wagging tongue had best grow very loose quickly before it's plucked out by my friend here.
He says, if the girl is worth anything to you, I'll have to take you there myself.
At that, I look over at Mitros, and I raise an eyebrow. and say,
Mitros, you've never heard of a secret door or anything at the fort. You've never been there, but,
Does he speak truthfully?
Well, I've never heard of such a thing, but
The sword
Ladara
that
is
you
gone.
Okay.
I can imagine that those of us that live on this island always have a backup plan. So sure, if he values his life.
I'll ask Vajir to ease up, unmount him.
I'm like biting right in front of his face, like.
All right, so the room is like half full of smoke, and
Okay.
you guys are going to have to vacate. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to see, and difficulty in breathing is going to be an issue. Basically, a steer's smoke will make an attack against everybody every round until you guys come.
I'll pull some of the curtain. I don't even know what to call them. The string or the roping around the curtains. I'll rip it down and use that as probably a very minor bind for him, and we'll usher him out the side door so that we don't encounter any of his goons if possible.
Okay.
Taking
All
him
right,
with us, I assume, right?
Huh?
We're taking him with us, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right, so
you should take the girls, Vegger.
He's in no state to do anything. He's like foaming at the mouth and freaking head out.
Yeah, it's gonna take him a while to recover from that 3 stress to the gonads. All right, so
Steer will tear a couple of nice-looking books off the shelf as he runs out.
okay, so you snatch, and there's you toss them into your little shoulder pouch, and you guys head out into basically the fields outside of his villa. They're like sugarcane fields, basically,
Okay.
and you see they have people working them even at this hour of night. Okay, got it.
If it's okay, Mitros is at the lead since he kind of knows this place definitely better than anyone else.
Well, it's about a 3-mile hike to the fort. The way that Tyros describes it is that on the northern approach, which there is no northern approach of the fort to your knowledge, there's the secret door there. Otherwise, there's a southern approach to the fort, which is accessible via a road that comes out of it. So it's going to be some difficult terrain to ply going his way to the back door, or an easy way right up the front door to the front door.
Ooh.
So, having calmed down a bit, I'll grab this guy by the hair and like turn him around to look at me, and I'll invoke my why ask when you can tell, and I will tell him. Well, I'll basically ask him where we're going, and I will say, if there's even the slightest whiff of treachery, the kick will feel like ecstasy compared to what I will do to you.
He says, the girl is as nothing to me. He says, if I can be rid of you fools by taking you to the secret door to the fort, so be it. You'll have your deaths at the dealing with the cult there. All right, so which way do you guys want to go? The front door or the back door following him?
We have no reason to think that the back door does not exist, so I vote to try that way.
All right, so you guys make it to basically the fort after a couple of hours. So it's deep, deep, deep into the night. He points to what looks like a sewage duct that is in the rocks. You guys are pretty high up. You guys kind of ascended up through broken hills, and it's becoming a little mountainous. But this sewage duct looks to be on the sheer side of a cliff going off down into the darkness, and you can hear the shoals and water far down beneath. So in order to get to this sewage duct, you're going to have to be able to climb along the sheer wall and get to it, and it looks like there's some type of metallic grating rusted over it. So whoever goes over there will have absolutely no leverage because they'll be hanging from a sheer, whatever, and then have to pull the gate open.
I assume everyone's looking at me, so I'll
Hey,
go.
here we are.
He says, there, that is the beginning of your folly. He says, now, I'll take my leave.
Not so
No,
fast.
you won't.
You're going nowhere until we make it in there.
He says, that was not part of our deal.
The deal has changed. Do you have a problem with this?
He says, you'd make a better pirate than you think, Vinerman. He says, well, go to it, become a squirrel, climb the side of the wall, and fall to your doom.
I'll mutter a quick prayer to Ymir and attempt
If he
it.
falls, so do you, pirate.
Says,
So-
I'm guessing that if he falls, the three of you would definitely not be a match for me. So your threats are meaningless, Nemedian.
I'll tickle him in the ribs with my blade. Shut your yapping jaw, or maw, rather.
Okay, you see he stands resolute. His jaw kind of tightens up, and his eyes glower at you. Son of a bitch. Okay, so the Vinerman is going to attempt to climb out to the grating.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's going to be
Please don't fall, Lloyd.
Physique or
athletics.
athletics?
Yeah, it's a good roll. 3.
That's 2, so I'm going to have to invoke something. Or else I'll die. Okay, I'm faster than I look. So I actually take a running start and manage to get some good
Jump over
leverage.
there. Okay, so you make a running jump and land right to the side of the grating and attach yourself to the wall, kind of like Spider-Man. So now you have to make a physique roll to pull the rusted grating open.
Okay.
And that's going to be a 4. Great.
That's a 5.
All right, so with a groan, the iron kind of makes a horrendous noise, and then it becomes free from its moorings, and pieces of stone and gravel fall out as you toss it down 100, 200 feet below. You hear it clatter.
Okay.
And then you jump your way into it. You kind of, flip, move yourself in. So now your companions, how are they going to get over here?
That's a good question.
What?
Any, rope
Is there
left?
anything in there with you? Can you look around?
Yeah, I'll take a look around, see if there's
You
anything.
see there are some bones, skull, femur, broken bits. There's some kind of pungent smelling liquid that trickles along your feet and out.
I look at while Vagir is in there. I look at Astaire, and I say, "Can you not turn us all into does and have us fly in?"
I could possibly do something like that, but it might require a sacrifice. And I look at Tyros.
Says, I should have guessed you're a sorcerer.
We have a volunteer
just
here.
an alchemist.
His soul's going to hell anyway. He has no need of it.
Do we have any rope?
No.
No.
Got a
We
bunch of
Don't
axes.
have any rope?
All right, so you see Tyros pulls his shirt off and kind of tears it and begins trying to fashion a rope of sorts. He says, I'll need more cloth than this. And you see he looks at Astaire, who has the robes on, so he's got the most cloth of everyone.
I look down
Vagir
at this
is,
loincloth I'm wearing, and I'm like,
oh, don't do it, don't do it!
all right,
No, don't pick up the
I'll
loincloth.
start unwrapping it.
It's
I'll
like
take off the
two
rope.
miles of loincloth.
Right, yeah, it's enormous. It's wrapped around. It's like one of those
As
samurai
long as anything gets stored in
watchings,
the pockets, as long as I have other ways to store it, I'll take the robe off.
All right, so who is going to be the
Probably
person?
stiff. He could probably just lay it down like a
that's
pole.
nasty. Who's going to
I'm
be?
determined to be a naked barbarian here, so I'm taking it off no matter what happens. So,
All right, so who's going to be the person to try to craft this into a rope of sorts?
um,
I have a decent crimp
It would
skill.
be a
Oh
craft
yeah,
check.
that would probably be a steer, right?
I'll take off the crusty loincloth and throw it across.
The soiled.
Right, yeah. I've been wearing it for weeks,
Yeah, weeks, right?
That's all.
if not months.
Yeah, okay.
All right, so it's going to be a fair roll, which is a 2.
Okay, let's see. I have a craft of 3. I don't have any stunts that are going to help with this unless I decide to use. I've read about that, but that would only give me a +1. No, I won't bother with that.
You read about not making.
No, I don't want to use that. I have better ways to use that fate point rather than get a +1. All right, here we go. That's a 2.
Wow.
Okay, so you are not going to be able to create it because you need to beat a 2. So you need to invoke something in order to create the I made a rope from cloth.
I am going to spend my last fate point again and invoke trained as a maester.
Okay, so the maesters tie people up and they're into all sorts of unsavory stuff.
They've learned how to make rope from loincloths and ropes.
There you go. All right, so you have the rope and you toss it over to Bagheer, who catches it, and you all are able to. You will be able to negotiate your way over into the sewage tunnel.
Tyros isn't going to be able to come with us any further than this, is he?
Nah, I mean, do we want him to?
I mean, why are we keeping him alive, really?
That's what I'm thinking.
It's the question. Like, he's just going to go back and get his boys after us. So
Well,
push him off the cliff.
what does Mitros want us to do with him? That's his brother in piracy.
Brother, whatever.
That's what he said.
He says, "I'll remove your black mark. I'll restore your station."
Ooh.
There you go.
Ooh. You drive a bargain there. Okay.
I can boil the blood in your brain.
Hey, one word from him clears my name. So yeah, I've got incentive to want to keep him alive. Forget you guys. He lives.
All right, so you cut him loose.
Sure.
All right, so
Don't cut him loose. Just let him wander back with his hands tied.
he's naked, so he starts wandering the miles back towards the cove.
Can I throw an axe before he goes? Because I'm always going to eat him.
No, he has to he gets away. He makes it to the edge of the screen like in video games, and he just. Thanks. All right, so you guys are in this cistern tunnel, and it smells horrid. And as you guys negotiate your way through,
Even worse now because Bagger doesn't have a loincloth anymore.
yeah, that's the smell. You guys come into where is this area? All right, you come into what appears to be a area that has a bunch of rusted metallic cages, and there's hay in the cages. There's a doorway that leads out from this room, but they're probably upward of 20 cages that would hold each one several man-sized creatures.
Are they all empty?
All save one. There's an old man with his back turned to you. You can see the long gray hair down the back of his neck, and he's on his knees, and you see he's sort of swaying about, but you can't see his face. You can only hear a soft muttering.
Grandfather, are you well?
He's mad. Don't bother.
So as you guys get onto solid ground out of the the cistern tunnel. You can open. You see that there's a lock, and there's a table with a bunch of keys on it.
Hmm.
It's too easy. Leave it.
And
It's not
you
worth it.
actually thinking about it after if the guy were to reach out, he could probably grab the key.
Himself, yeah.
Yes.
See, I told you, he's mad. Leave him.
We don't know how much time is left. My beloved may be on the sacrificial altar by now. We must hurry.
You're right. I'll grab the keys as we go past.
Okay. I don't understand. Why? Are you there again? Are you back?
Once we get out of his arm's
Why
reach.
won't you speak with me? You see, there's a torch that's burning in here, and as you move towards the table, you see that on the ground are like just swaths of, like if someone took a broom and just made kind of odd designs, kind of zigzaggy designs in the mud. You, Vagir, have been around the block quite a bit. It looks like snake tracks.
Uh-oh. I'll stop.
Who's there?
We shouldn't leave this.
Where are the others? Where did you take them?
We shouldn't leave this thing in our wake.
Me.
So he's just another pirate on this forsaken isle.
How can you be certain?
Okay, so you see he stands up, and he's kind of, hunched over as an old man would be, and he starts like he's feeling about with his hands, but he hasn't turned around to show his face. Is it time? I know what is coming, and I have made my pleas to my Lord Bel.
Uh-oh.
In Ishtar, they're ready to receive my soul.
I'll look at Astir and say, "Fell sorcery. This is your neck of the woods."
Okay, so you see he moves towards the Bel, B-E-L.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Is that like Kill
Heard
Bill?
Bill.
Kill Bill.
Bill.
Gonna kill Bill.
Bill?
You see he moves with a burst of unexpected speed towards the opposite end of his jail quarters. And it's sort of dark over there. And then he turns about. But you can't see his face in the darkness.
I start
And
moving
then-
towards the door.
And there's a bunch of hay in the room that he's in?
Yeah, there's hay on the floors for the people, and it's soiled. You see people urinating.
How dry does it look?
Not very.
Not very, no. It would probably burn, but burn slow.
Oh, it'll burn. Yeah, it'll burn.
And I have
But
a torch
there's
here,
but
right?
there's defecation and all sorts of stuff on it, and in the other cells as well, which means that whoever was here, it's not that old, so they can't have been gone too long.
Okay, I'll say we cannot leave this madman in our wake.
Okay,
Nope,
you see
I'll toss the torch into his cell.
Okay, you see he runs over towards the part of the gate where you guys are, and he's holding on and shaking violently the gate, and you see that his eyes have been put out. And he's like, "Release me! Release me!" And you see he drops to the ground. He's like, "Ah!" And he's screaming.
Is his head sticking out of the...
loudly. Very, very loudly.
Okay, I'm throwing an axe.
Ah! You put him down?
Yep.
Holy
He
shit.
said he made peace with his gods.
Okay, so you see the axe dunks into his chest, and he drops, and he's like, "Thank you. Thank you." And drops. And then you hear a gong. Ba-goong. 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 Ba-goong.
Alright, pick up that torch, because we'll probably need it.
All right, so You pick up the torch. Are you guys moving towards the gonging bell, or the gong, rather?
Was that
Yeah.
behind the door or what?
Yeah, it's behind the door.
I'm
Okay.
watching the ground for any sign of serpents.
Okay. As you guys get to the door, you don't see any serpents, but it opens up into what looks like a cathedral of sorts, and you guys are up high, and there's a staircase that winds around the circular outside of the room. Down at the bottom is where is this? Down at the bottom, you see these guys. You guys. You see.
See.
Hurry up, my immersion. Hurry up.
You see these guys.
Oh.
There's one in the center with a jagged obsidian or basalt-looking knife, and then there are 5 other ones. I'm sorry, 6 other ones that are on the outside of a circle that looks like it's been hewn into the stone ground.
Yeah.
And there's also a basalt-looking altar that has some glowing runes. And you see 7 dirty slaves standing by the altar, each one of them armed with a black basalt knife, and it looks like they're in a stupor of some sort.
Do we see at least once beautiful brown-haired girl anywhere?
You do not.
Okay. So either they've already sacrificed her, or they haven't gotten to that point yet.
All right, so you see the one in the middle of the room turns, and one of the slaves goes to, or prisoners, sorry, goes to walk over towards the cloaked figure, and you see the cloaked figure slashes her throat with just a quick, deft motion, and you see she falls, in the center of the symbol on the ground, and you see blood begins to trickle through the maze-like carving on the ground, and it pools at one of 7 areas.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That, and then you look, and then there's 6 more, and the cloaked figures on the outside of the circle begin to like gyrate and sort of twist and twerk and dance. Their hands are sort of moving, but no sound is emanating from anyone. And you see the central figure turns, and the second prisoner begins walking towards the center cloak figure.
Astir curses again in the median.
All right, so boom, prisoner number 2 has been slain, and you see the blood move through and pools at a second location.
I began to chant under my breath.
As Astir looks up, you see that there's no roof in this part of the area, and there's a star that looks impossibly bright, and it looks like it's getting brighter. It's twinkling in the night sky. It's no longer raining outside, but it's still cloudy. This is the only star or light that you can see through the cloud cover.
Do I have any knowledge of this ritual that they're doing, or is it strange to me?
It is alien and strange to you.
Okay. I'll begin chanting under my breath an incantation, preparing to cast a sorcery.
Okay. Okay. Would you? So it is you all's
Just
action.
readying.
I'd like to create an advantage called Berserker Rage.
Okay. You whip yourself into a berserker rage.
Vagir is a hypocrite. He doesn't mind austere sorcery, but he hates all other kinds.
Okay, so I will say that is going to be a will check. It's not overly difficult, fair. So let's see what you can get. You
For
have to
me?
will yourself into the rage. Yes, sir.
Wow, not even
So
close.
do you want to create? I mean, do you want
Fuck,
to
dice chain.
I've no fate points.
let me add the scene distinctions or scene aspects
Oh, yeah, that'd be
so
good.
that you guys can know what foul sorcery is afoot.
I love this game. I think I'm going to be playing a lot more Fate in days to come.
Okay.
Okay, so I failed to create the advantage. Is there any sort of like fallout from that?
Uh, well, I can either allow the advantage and give it an invoke to one of the NPCs, but it doesn't really apply in this case. So the ceremonial accoutrement, the braziers and the incense and stuff is you got to get hit in the face a couple of times and then maybe you'll get angry enough. But
Yeah.
there's something that's calming in this room because the prisoners are just like, come kill me. You know, okay, here, let me jump. Hey, okay.
Yeah.
So it may be affecting you. So
Okay.
who goes after you, Lloyd?
Let's have Aster do his sorcery.
Okay.
Right. Austere is going to do a sorcery. Austere is going to try to do a sort of conjuration using the blood in the pool from the two sacrifices. He is going to attempt to create an advantage called blood wraiths. And basically he's trying to form these blood wraiths out of those blood pools, and they will begin to harry and harass the cultists, as it were.
Okay. So
Just
you're
strafing them and generally just annoying them and getting in their way and fucking with them.
so the blood wraiths is actually going to be a distraction basically for them.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're trying to hijack their ceremony. They've got blood magic invested and they're got the ceremony going on. So they are going to be able to actively resist you.
Okay.
There are 7 of them. So at the very least, that's going to give them +6 to whatever
Okay.
they roll plus their skill because they are keyed into this.
And I don't have any fate points. Right.
So let me sort of explain again what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
One of the guys on the outside is standing near a hub where the blood is pooling. Okay. Uh, the 7th pool appears to be the middle portion where the leader, quote unquote, of this ceremony is hacking the people down. The blood drops to the ground, and then it kind of goes through the maze and ends at the feet of one of the outside circle guys.
Okay.
And there is an odd light in the corner of a dark corner of the room. There's obviously someone else in this scene that has not chosen to reveal themselves just as of yet.
Okay.
Who's that in the corner?
And the only light lighting the area is that star above?
The star is lighting the area, but they have braziers again. They have torches all about and candles as part of their ceremony accoutrements.
In that case, then, can I retcon that a little bit? Instead of trying to do the blood wraith idea, I will try to conjure the flames from the braziers and have them just kind of start to flame up, way beyond their normal amount. So wicked flames just start roaring all over the place, casting shadows everywhere, and use that to create a distraction instead of trying to actually create something out of the blood. I don't know if that's going to be any easier, but...
No. That's fine. I'm going to say that's going to be descriptive, and you're going to need to make an overcome roll.
Okay.
In order to cause them to be distracted.
And it still uses my lore.
Yes, not an overcome roll. I'm sorry. You're creating the advantage of distracted on them.
Here goes nothing. So I'm at lore 4.
And that's not a difficult task, so it's going to be a 3.
I got a 6.
Wow. Okay, so you succeed with style, which means that you get an extra invoke. So that is distracting, dancing, flames. How's that? And it's got 2 invokes on it. All right, so...
Those are free, yeah?
Huh?
Free invokes?
Yes, 2 free invokes.
Cool, thanks.
So 7 braziers kind of burst into flame and then start turning different colors and kind of bouncing and swaying about. And you see the cloaked figures on the outside stop their twerking and jerking and start to look about the room. Who goes next?
Let's see, next.
They haven't gone, and neither of the Davids have gone.
Let's let them go next. The bads, the crimson guys.
Okay. The center guy calls for another prisoner and slays that prisoner, and the blood circles about and pools into a third pool.
So 4 slaves to go.
So there you go. So you do see the guys on the outside, the cloaked figures on the outside, toss their cloaks back to reveal that.
Uh-oh. Oh, shit.
And all of a sudden you hear, and then they really start to gyrate about. They don't have legs. They have snake body from the waist down. And they have these spears that appear to be made out of bone of some type.
Awesome.
And they're dripping. So obviously they're hollow bone with something inside of the hollow bone. All right, so they begin chanting, and we'll go with Mitros. So you guys are up, they're down, but they're still close enough for you guys to run down there and hit somebody in the face if that's what you want to do. It's not going to take any time to get down. Or you could just jump down on them.
Can I compel Mitros to make a big announcement because his reputation precedes him and say, cease this nonsense, you face. Mitros Wavebreaker, Lord of the Waves, kind of
you
thing.
You have no fate points.
Oh shit! Never mind.
All right, so Mitros, so you see that the central figure and the 6 outside figures are not chanting, but they're gyrating in a snake-like motion. Yeah, no kidding. And there are 4 slaves to go.
Wow. Okay.
And somebody in the corner that hasn't made their presence known.
Now, does it seem as if, because we've just seen them kill these slaves, apparently they're doing it in a particular order?
The people, there are 4 of them that are lined up at the altar, and they're sort of just, the center guy gestures, and then they walk over there and basically buy it.
Okay. I'm going to unbutton my pirate's coat and pull out my short blade and basically yell out, "I am Mitros, and this is my fort. All of you, stop this foul ritual and get out." And I'm going to jump down and try to stab one of the next ritualizer, this snake thing. Try to stab it in the tail.
Okay. All right. So jump down and make your attack. You see, they look up at you as you proclaim.
Yeah.
As you make your proclamation, and they're ready as you swashbucklingly leap down onto it. It's going to try to avoid you.
Okay.
So there we go.
All right. Now I have a fight of 2. I'm going to roll. Bam. And I come up with a 2.
All right. So.
And I've got 2 fate points left, and I will. Okay, I'm going to use my. I'm going to use a fate point to invoke my plans within plans.
Okay.
And essentially insert myself between the 4 slaves that are left, and hope that they are distracted enough so that I'm imposing myself in the ritual.
Well, remember, Ian also made the flames are distracting and dancing, so there are 2 free invokes there if he will allow you to use it.
Ooh, I'll do that.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so use 1. Okay, one of them is gone, so that brings you up to a what?
The invoke is a +2, making it a 4.
All right, so it will attempt to dodge you, and it got a 0. So you got a 4. So how much damage do you do?
My blade does 2 points.
Mm-hmm. And so it does 6 stress. All right, so it can't soak 6 stress.
Okay, cool.
So you jump down and stab it through the back and through where a normal human's heart would be, and you see it falls dead, and you see the blood drops into the circle, moves around, and pulls up into the 4th spot.
God damn it.
Ooh. Good.
So one of them is down, so there are 5 more to go. And who goes next, Mitros?
All right. Galen's got to get his self in here.
All right. First of all, I'm going to spend a fate point to get it out of the way to compel Vagger, because he's a dirty fighting veneerman, to leap down there and actually knock over one of the braziers into the one closest to the master of ceremony down there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
So I'm going to do that. And then, whenever he acts, and then after...
Do anything to jump? Do I hurt myself by jumping? Or?
No.
Okay.
Then, after saying what Mitros did, Is there there are stairs leading around the
Yeah,
outer edge, right?
it's like a circular room,
Okay.
and the stairs kind of wind around the outside, but it would be just far easier to jump down. 'Cause
Yeah.
I mean, it's like 15 feet. It's nothing that's going to kill you.
Where once again, I know that there's only 4 prisoners left. Do any of them look as though they may be Ashira?
They're all males.
They're all males. And you said that the altar was aglow, right?
It's like black basalt obsidian, but it has some runes carved into it, red, glowing, and they appear to be moving. And as you look at them, you kind of get drawn into it, so you have to avert your gaze.
And has the Master of Ceremony revealed itself to be a snake creature as well?
No.
Okay. All right. So let me change my thing here. I'll have Viger just jump down there, at any random snake creature to engage, and I myself will go after the Master of Ceremony so that I can find out what happened to Fair Ashira.
Okay. All right. So you going down there to attack?
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Okay. All right. So you compel. How do you compel Viger?
How? What do you mean how? Which aspect do I use?
Yeah. Well, which one is what you're compelling? His dirty fighting.
Dirty fighting. Yeah. Dirty fighting.
But how are you compelling it? How are you getting him to do what you want him to do?
I'll right before I leap, I yell at him. I'll say, why don't you grab one of those robes down there and cover up that flapping member of yours, you dirty pig, and I'll jump down there.
Okay.
So do I need to actually roll an attack on the thing, or do I just
Yeah, make an attack.
Okay, make an attack.
And you're attacking the Master of Ceremonies?
Yeah. Against my because I'm inexperienced, I should probably not attack him, but I do. But I guess I'm trained in the art of command, so if I take the head off the leader, then the rest shall fall.
I'm going to give you a fate point.
What?
And I'm going to...
Oh, God, no. I don't want it.
I'm going to jump in...
Don't want it.
And take his action because he hasn't acted. So I'm going to preempt your initiative with his initiative.
Okay.
So as you jump down and land and begin to run over towards him, he pulls his helm down. I mean his
Don't say it. Don't
say his cloak off.
Don't say it.
Well, he pulls his cloak back and reveals this. Another cloak, another robe.
Oh, wow.
But far more sorcerous as he lifts his hand up, a clawed hand. You see his eyes are glowing red under the cowl. And his hand begins to glow purple. And you see he laughs and he says, "Stripling, you dare interfere in the ceremony of the Circle of the Crimson Tome?" He says, "You face Morphos, a Stygian, and here you will die. Nothing will stop me from raising the demon Bleak Flame to wreak a havoc such as this world has never known."
Okay. All right.
You can act
now.
Huh? He's going to act, actually.
Okay.
He's going to mesmerize you.
Okay.
So make a will check against his will check, and he's attempting to place the aspect of mesmerized on you.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, that's not good.
It's not good.
Got a 1.
I got a 1.
So he would get a boost on you.
Well, because
yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, because I am the first son of Hadun, I'm determined to find my betrothed, and I steal my mind and batter aside his mesmerizing. How about that?
He says, "Hold, hold," as he holds his hand out, trying to stop you.
Mm-hmm.
But you put one foot in front of the other. You feel your limbs begin to stiffen, but by sheer will, you move onto him. So
Okay.
you are in melee range.
Okay. So all right. So I'll lash out with my blade. Yeah, it would be. I lash out with my blade to strike at him. And let's see.
Ah, shoot.
Man, sucky. Uh, I'll re-roll because I'm trained in. No, that doesn't make sense. Because actually being a young Kothian or Kothian lord, my fighting skills are not quite that sucky.
Okay.
So I'll spend a fate point and re-roll because this is ridiculous. Okay, that's a 3. A good result.
All right. So you see, he puts his hand up, and your blade strikes against his naked skin, and his skin is as steel, and it turns your blade aside with a loud clang and a spark. And you see he laughs, and you see he's got fangs on top and fangs on the bottom.
Oh, wow.
Got, like a snake, kind of, but not quite. And you see he laughs. He says, "You feeble fleshling." He says, "You will feel my power."
Is he separate from the rest of his spawn?
It's him, and there are 4
Okay.
others in the circle outside.
Okay. All right. So since he has gone, I went last basically. I'll let's let Mitros go first.
So it's a new round.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Okay. So you see he's assessing the situation, and he laughs, and he says, "You will not stop this ceremony. There is too much at stake." He says, "Join me. Become my pawns. I will give you power. Power that you've never dreamed of. And since knowledge is power, Astir, I will compel you to come forth."
Oh,
And
well, I don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice. All right, so you see Astir is like, "Choose me." And
Power? Power, you say?
Astir begins to descend the stairs, moving towards the Stygian. Okay, Mitros, is still your action, sorry.
What kind of power are we talking about exactly here?
Undreamt of. Power of the ancient, the old ones.
That sounds pretty powerful.
Powers of Yig and Yarlathotep.
What kind of benefit package does that come with?
No.
All right, so you're down there. What are you doing, Mitros? You just going down, and you see the others are moving. They're going to move in on you. There are 3 more.
Okay.
I'm sorry, there are 4 more.
4 more?
Yeah, 4.
After killing the one, I'm going to try to grab another and hold a blade up to his throat. And hey, I'm not to be trifled with. And I want to see if I can make them back off. And I will use
Provoke.
Yes, I will use my provoke. And if I make if I roll against their will, if I succeed, the target will not attack me, and unless I attack them. And if I succeed with style, neither will anyone with a lower will than than the first target. So cool.
Okay. All right. So make that check.
Okay. And
they will resist with their will.
I have a provoke of 4. Sorry.
You're going to succeed with style, probably. Because they're moving.
And
then they got a 1.
I got a 4.
All right. You succeed with style.
Oh, sweet. And I'm basically going to hold my short blade up to the throat of one, and essentially have one of the other ritual tenders stop in their tracks and back off.
Okay. So you see they kind of, snake dance and move away from you, not quite sure what to do, and they're looking at the Stygian for, direction.
Okay. I'm Mitros Wavebreaker. Back off, or he's dead.
He says, "You fool." Who goes next? Actually, I'll spend it. I'll give you a fate point. I'll spend a fate point. I'll go next.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
He casts a dark bolt snake out of his hand and kill the one that you have, as well as one on the outside, and their blood hits the circle and begins to lock in. So all of the outside nodes are filled. The only node left to fill is the node that's under the Stygian, and one more blood sacrifice will settle that. He says, "These are the ones that you sought to hide behind, like a woman behind her skirts." He says, "Is this what the warriors of this age have to offer?"
Bastard.
Big gulp.
All right, so it'll go back to you to determine who goes next, since I just went.
Okay. Someone needs to kill. Vigir, please kill this guy, please.
So,
a quarter of an axe, please.
So standing there at the bottom of this, with no clothes on, frothing at the mouth, the fire, casting shadows on his ripped form. He's taken this hammer that he took off
Hyboria. Yep.
And he's going to run forward and try, because it's got runes and stuff on it, right? It looks like it's
etched very well.
Yeah. So I'm gonna basically swing that with all my might at this Stygian.
All right, you see he regards you quizzically as you run up, but he takes no move to dodge or anything like that.
He's too impressed with my manhood flopping around.
Thought you were a woman.
Okay. So that's a 1. I'm going to re-roll that with a fate point.
What aspect are you taking?
Faster than he looks.
Okay.
Okay, clear that. Go again. Come on. Okay, it's gonna be a 2. That's not good either. So yeah.
There's still a free invoke on distracting dancing flames.
Yep.
I'll certainly take that and bring it up to a 4.
Okay. All right. So he rolls a 6, and the hammer smacks against the side of his face, and he sort of turns away from you, and then slowly regains his composure as his head turns, and you see his eyes begin to blaze red, and you see he laughs. He says, "I will suck the marrow from your bones."
Bastard.
Who's next?
Let's have
Steer or Guyland?
Yeah, I'll have a steer go next.
Okay, so a steer, you're moving towards him.
So I'm walking towards him like, power, you say, yeah?
Okay, you see he holds his hand out towards you. He
I just
says,
have to leave these guys behind and go with you?
yes.
Betray, the pirate lordling over there, and then the noble lordling over there, and
The path to
this
power.
this northern barbarian here?
The path to power is littered with the good intentions that you will cast behind. Friendship is not something that you need. Power is all that you need.
And I'll stride forward, reaching out to shake his hand.
He says, yes.
But
He says,
before I take his hand,
on your knees.
I jump towards him and I
Oh.
put my hands on either side of his face. And I do a sorcerous mental assault on him, trying to turn the darkness of his own mind in on
Back
itself.
inward. Okay. All right. So
This is
you
probably the
got him.
end of me.
He's going to
So it's a lore
resist
attack.
with his will.
Yeah.
So what did you get?
Well, I got a 3 on my lore roll.
I got a
I
1.
will invoke deception over confrontation, since I was fainting for pretending that I was approaching in to take his offer. So I'll spend
Okay.
my fate point. So that brings me up to a 5.
Okay, you got a 1. So you succeeded with style, and you do 5 shifts of mental stress. He can take that. He's going to have to take a consequence. So what consequence are you going to put on him?
What level consequences do you have to take?
It's a mild.
A mild consequence?
Mhm.
I'm going to say that he overestimated his own cunning. Full of himself.
Full of himself.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so you see he says, "You dog," and there's like a blast that erupts from him, and it knocks you away from him, just for effect. Nothing, no damage or anything like that.
Okay.
Okay, and you see kind of like black tendrils of smoke clinging to the side of his face that you revealed a shaved head, and he's kind of gray, like corpse-like gray,
Ghoulishly gray?
ghoulishly gray. Yeah, he's got some grayness about him, and his eyes are just burning. But he screams out at that. All right, so who goes next? Ian, it's either Guylan or
I think it's just Galen, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. Did I act?
Yeah, you used
Oh
the
yeah,
fate point
destroy
to
the
take
people.
a turn.
Yeah, I did. I sure did.
Yeah, so it's Galen.
All right, I'm gonna create an advantage called off balance because he is, and I will do that.
And his consequence has 1 free invoke.
Okay.
What are you creating?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
So you're trying to
That
trick.
makes. Well, no, hold on. Let's see here. Well, let's see. We've got because we still have the dancing flames aspect is still out there. It just costs now.
Yes.
And then he has something on him called
Full of himself.
full of himself. Are there any free invokes on there?
1.
Okay. I'll give it a shot. I'll see if I can maybe get in there. I can't think of really any mental assault to hit him with specifically. So I'll
Indeed.
here it goes. Okay, I see. I'll try to create an advantage called uh, uh, open defense. That's what I'll do using my fight skill.
Okay, I'm going to compel your inexperienced nature.
Yeah.
As your eyes shoot towards the corner,
Mm-hmm.
you see Ashira.
Is she the what was it called? The who's in the corner?
Yes,
Okay.
but she's just standing there in
In
the
a daze.
darkness.
In a daze.
Well, she's just standing there in the darkness.
Okay. All right.
So actually, it wouldn't be inexperienced. It would be betrothed to Ashira. So you see her, and you feel the need to move over to her side.
If I see her, I will move over there. I mean, I can't. Yeah, I will move over there.
Okay.
And it's probably not her. It's probably a freaking snake creature or something.
All right. So you see.
So I'll move.
You see Guylan haul ass over to the corner, and it looks like he's interacting with somebody or trying to interact with someone. All right, Guylan, who starts the new turn?
I wish freaking Viger would do something, so I'll let him go next.
Okay. I need a goddamn fate point. I'm gonna try and swing this guy with a hammer again.
Well, hold on. Let me see if there's anything I can. Remember, there are situational modifiers that can be compelled.
Yeah, he has the full of himself aspect, which has a free compel on it.
There's ceremonial accoutrements that you can trip over and cause you problems. The maze of the blood sacrifice can mess with your footing or, frighten you.
Okay. Yeah, so getting kind of worked up. Kind of the longer he fights, the more worked up he gets.
Actually, you know what? Sorry, I'll compel you're always in need of a new axe.
Okay. So
because that last blow that you took with the hammer actually swung around and shattered the haft of your great axe. So now you have a hammer which is damaged too.
Okay.
He's got the small axes though, remember?
Oh yeah, he's got the small.
Yeah, a couple of small axes. Yeah. Okay. Well, what I'll do then is, seeing that he is, what was it? What's this thing? He's full of himself.
Yes.
Yeah. So figuring that he's full of himself and that he doesn't expect much from me, this is kind of where I shine. So I will, I'll create an advantage, hopefully, called to do with fainting again, but it's not going to be fainting. It's going to be appear weak when you are strong. So I'm going to almost cower, like hold the hammer up, like
yeah, you're bluffing him.
His true face and stuff like that.
Okay. That's going to be a deceive.
Okay, come on. So that's a 2.
And the difficulty is going to be 2.
Okay.
So you tied?
Yep.
Okay,
So
I've got Dirty Fighter. I have a talent for fighting dirty, and I'm experienced pulling tricks. Anytime you invoke an opponent's aspect in a fight, you get +2 on the roll.
Okay, which aspect are you invoking? Oh, full of himself?
It was the full of himself, yeah.
Okay.
So that would put it to a 4.
Okay. Did you use the invoke of full of himself?
Yes.
Okay.
That would make it a 6 then, wouldn't it? Because you would have got +2 for the invoke as well.
Oh, an additional +2.
Oh no, the 2 was. You don't have a deceive roll, did you?
It would be a 6. Yeah, I do have a. So that would make it a 6 because it's an additional +2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you succeed with style in your creation of your what? What's it called?
Appear weak when you are strong.
Appear.
Nice.
Okay. All right, so he says, "You are weak." He says, "You are worthless and weak. Nothing you do can harm me."
I'll just continue to pretend to cower, like, oh no.
Okay, so you see he moves over towards you in a menacing manner, and you see he opens his mouth, and his head kind of rears back, and it looks like he's about to put the bite on you. Who goes next?
How many free invokes are on that appear weak when strong?
2.
Let's have Wavebreaker go next.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Actually, let's have the bad guy go. I want to see what happens.
All right. You
That's
see
okay.
he opens his mouth to bite down, and he stops, and he turns, and he's like, "To me, bride." And you see Ashiera begin to walk over away from Galen and over towards him. She's got a everyone make a notice check. Great difficulty. Except for Astir, who is a 2 difficulty.
So it's a 4 from me.
Nope. Fail.
I
Oh, wow.
got a 5.
All right, so Astir, you see at her neck is a bloodstone pendant that appears to catch the odd light that's coming from the star up ahead. But she looks kind of dazed, and she's walking over towards the circle where they're standing.
The pendant, Galen. Get the pendant.
And you see he pulls out his knife, and it's obvious what he's going to.
Yeah, I know what he's going to do.
And he's going to get her. All right, so Galen, your action.
All right, I will stand there, just stunned at the fact that she just pulled away from me in an unnaturally strong, way, as I tried to hold on to her, and as Astir yells that out to me, I will move over to snatch the pendant off of her from around her throat. But I will invoke or compel my trouble of inexperienced, and I will compel the maze of blood sacrifice, and I will slide in some of the splashed blood, and my body will go in between the dagger of the Stygian and her.
Oh.
How about that?
There you go.
Whoa.
All right.
What the hell is that thing?
The Stygian brings down the dagger, and it bites into Galen, but it's not killing him yet. So he's actually making an attack. He didn't do an action last. He just did.
Right.
So he attacks you, Galen, with a 2-1. 2-1-2. With the 3. Did that strike you?
Well, I assumed he hit me, so I don't know how bad.
So you take it's 3 stress.
Okay.
So you see blood drops. He bleeds Galen and stabs him in the back of the shoulder blade, and blood pools into the central receptacle, and from that central receptacle, you see a flame ignites, and then you see a large clawed flaming hand reaches the edge, and it looks like it's pulling itself out of the central area. Obviously, it's some type of demon spawn that's pulling itself out of one of the hills. But it has a hand out and an arm, and it's pulling and it's pulling. And as Galen is sitting there bleeding out, more blood is pooling into the center, and it looks like the being is getting stronger in its pull outward. All right, who goes next, Galen?
Let's let Mitros go.
All right, so you see this large demonic hand pulling itself out of the center of the circle where the blood is. Basically, it's as the blood is filling up, the hand is coming out of the blood, and it's a flame.
Wow.
And you see the Stygian. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. I'm going to.
Totally distracted.
Wow.
He's
I'm sorry?
looking at the demon hand with glee, and just laughing.
Oh, wow. I'm really far out of my element here. What I wouldn't give to be on a ship right about now. Okay, so I'm going to only thing I can think of. I'm going to raise my hand with my blade above my head and say, "Hey, I'm Mitros Wave Breaker, and both of your foul ritual, both of you are evil and need to be cast away. And I dare you to follow me into the open, out of this place, challenge a real human being in open combat." And I start to back away from him, but I want to provoke him, and I'm hoping, like, oh my god, to get this thing out of here and see if it just like follows me out of its, I don't know, pentagram or something like that, and hopefully it'll leave this chamber and start to chase after me.
Okay, he laughs at you and he says, "When Bleak Flame is fully realized, he will go slay my brethren, and then my bride will be fully realized and come into power of her own." He says, "But you, Argosian, you will be the first to be immolated by Bleak Flame." So at that, you see her bloodstone pendant begins to throb and pulse as she moves in closer.
Ooh. All right.
So
sorry about this.
He squares off on you, towards you, but he's not following you.
Right, right.
Unless you can do a hell of a provoke. I mean, you
yeah,
you can try to provoke him.
I'll try.
Remember, he's also full of himself, so there are no free invokes, so you would have to pay a fate point to invoke that on him.
Yeah. All right, I'll try it. I'm going to try it. And I've got to provoke a 4. Roll.
Very provocative.
4. Jeez. And I could spend a fate point, but you know what? I'll do it. I'll spend my last one. And re-roll. And got +1, 2, 3, so that makes it 7.
Oh, wow. All right, he rolls a 4, 5. So you got 2 over. So you succeed. So you see, he turns
Okay.
and he says, "I am of Stygian." He says, "I do not back down from any challenge." He says, "I will flay you anywhere you stand." And he begins to move over out of the circle as you back away from him. He's moving towards you. He says, "Name your
Uh,
arena, dog."
without looking, I'm backing towards the circular steps that lead up to the top. But I'm
Okay.
just kind of like taking. Every time he takes a step towards me, I'm like backing up, like
Okay.
like come on, come on.
He's in pursuit. He's following you. He
All
says, "You
right.
challenge me, then run like a dog." Okay. Who didn't go? A steer didn't go.
Yeah, I'm at the last one, am I?
Yep, you are.
I'm torn.
You see, he's following Mitros. Mitros is obviously drawing him away.
What kind of shape is Galen in? Is he dying?
He's bleeding out. He took a 3 stress wound. I don't know what that did,
Okay.
but he has the aspect on him. I'll give you a fate point of bleeding.
Oh, who? What?
Bleeding.
Oh, okay. My armor seemed to protect the worst of the blow, but I am bleeding. So it was still a nasty situation.
I'm torn here, Vagir. Do I go for the sorcerer or go for the bride?
Kill them both.
I would go for the sorcerer, but
Yeah.
I'm going to go for him. I'm hiding behind him, looking all wimpy, but this is like part of my ploy.
See, my thing is, I feel like his part in this is pretty much finished, so I don't know that taking him out's going to do anything now, but...
Yes,
fuck it.
you do realize that there's no more summoning to be done.
Yeah, his job is done.
Yeah.
So
So
it's all about this demon thing and whatever he's talking about, the bride being realized.
and the demon hasn't fully come into the scene as of yet because it needs a few more drops of Galen's blood. But if Galen remains there to bleed out, he'll fill the central node, and Bleak Flame will be able to be released. But the girl is kind of she was standing there, but she's trailing behind the Stygian, kind of like in a daze.
No! Where are you going?
She's following him.
Come back!
Okay, I'm going to take this down a dark path. I don't know how this is going to go. So, Astir, knocked to the ground from the last being tossed away by the Stygian sorcerer, struggles to his feet, and he again speaks an incantation, summoning the power of the wind. And I have a small blade. There's no definition of what a small blade is, but I'm going to assume it's just kind of like a dagger, basically.
Could be a dagger, short sword.
It's a dagger because I've read a lot of Conan.
There you go.
And I know that the dagger is the most dangerous weapon in Hyboria. And as such, nothing is more dangerous than a thrown dagger in the Conan novels. So Astir is summoning the power of the wind and is going to hurl this dagger at the girl.
Oh,
But
wow.
he's going to use his sorcery to guide the blade. So the power of the wind will take the blade and hopefully drive it into her throat.
Okay. Let me course correct.
Okay.
She has a bloodstone necklace on that appears to be throbbing somehow.
Mm-hmm.
So you reason that perhaps that may be what has her under sway.
Right.
And if she were, she may not need to be killed in order to. You're still trying to save her. You can kill her if need be, but that's not going to get her back for Galen.
Right. So I could hurl the blade then at the stone itself.
Yes.
Or if I may interject, you could
Okay.
use your abilities with the winds to snag or snatch the necklace off of her throat.
Oh, like a ghost hand kind of thing. Yeah?
Oh,
Yep.
there you go.
That's a good idea. And then I don't have to throw my dagger. I can save that for later.
Or you could kill her.
I'll go with it. I mean, it's all good ideas. I'll go with a ghost hand, mage hand kind of thing.
Okay.
Try to snag.
So you begin
So
to
he sits
concentrate.
up. He's chanting this incantation, summoning the wind around him. And he makes a grasping motion with his own hand to try
All
to
right.
pull this away
So
from him.
make a lower your sorcery, and the target number is going to be 2.
So that's a 4.
Oh, all right. So you snatch it, and as you snatch it, the Stygian stops chasing Mitros and turns and says, "My phylactery." He says, "Release it on pain of death," and he begins to kind of slide towards you.
And I begin to slide away from him.
All right, so you were.
That's the end of that round, right?
Yeah. So who goes first next round?
I do.
Okay. So he's coming to you. He says, "The power that I offered you is well within your grasp, whelp. All you need to do is give the bloodstone back to me."
It is literally within my grasp.
No, you do not understand. The power contained therein, it will destroy you.
And the clouds begin to roll in around the star. They don't cover the star, but the black clouds fill the sky above, all around the star, swirling almost like a cyclone effect above us. And little bits of lightning crackle above. And I will once again summon the lightning as an attack on the phylactery.
Oh,
damn.
no! Okay, I'll give you a
That's
fate
a
point for that.
5. Oh, you
Target
give me-
number is 2. I mean, it can't dodge.
So I get a fate point as well.
Yeah.
So that's a 5, but I want to invoke, because I'm just going on a hunch here. I assume attacking this phylactery is like attacking this guy. I want to evoke appear weak when strong, because I was on the ground, kind of crawling away from him as he crawled towards me.
Yeah, but that's on Vagir.
That's specifically on.
He was fainting, trying to appear weak.
Oh,
so
right. So
yeah.
nobody else could use it.
Right.
Okay, don't forget about that. That's
Distracting
fine.
flames is still there, but you have to pay for it. Full of himself is still there, but you have to pay
That's
for
what
it.
I'm going to do. I'm going to use the fate point then for full of himself to add 2 more to it. So it's
Okay,
now
so
7.
All right, so the lightning.
Yeah, take them with you, boys.
The lightning strikes down and hits the bloodstone pendant and shatters into 1,000 pieces as Morophos, the Stygian, screams out. His skin begins to turn kind of a crystalline, and he turns into a pile of sand as his screams echo throughout the ceremonial chamber. You hear boom, 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 and an elbow of the demon makes its way out, and it looks like a shoulder, and it's pulling itself out. And you see Galen is there, just bleeding out into the central node. So who goes next, Astir?
Well, I think Galen makes sense.
Okay, Galen is out of the combat. He can't really move.
He's out. Is he? He's not. Okay,
He's bleeding out. What do you want to do, Galen?
I want to move if I can.
Okay.
Towards what's her name? Towards Ashira.
Ashira.
Yeah.
All right. Make a physique check too. I'm going to invoke your bleeding to make it a 4.
And I'm going to possibly spend some fate points, but okay.
Spend them all, man.
So that's a, what was it for? Target number 4?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's a 2. So I will spend a fate point for betrothed to Ashira.
Okay.
And that, I need to get to her still, so that'll at least tie
Give
it.
you a boost.
Yeah.
Okay, so your boost is on your feet for now. So
Okay.
you kind of get to your feet and the blood is dripping.
Mhm.
And as you make your way to her, your dripping blood is no longer filling the central receptacle node.
Mhm.
And you hear a no! And the demon looks like it gets pulled back down through the blood and back into whatever hell spawned it. And then the flaming nodes that are full catch flame, and the flame dries into a powdery form. And then the entire chamber is silent except for Ashira, who sees her betrothed and tosses her arms around him, and Galen collapses to the ground.
So does a steer. As a point of
Steer
reference.
collapses to the ground. All right, so basically, to wrap this up, because you all have succeeded in rescuing the betrothed of Galen, Lady Ashira,
Only partly soiled.
Mitros Wavebreaker gets you all back to the Pirates Cove, and from Pirates Cove, you all make your way. You make your way to
Cat attack.
You make your way to force Tyros into keeping his promise. The black mark is now gone off of Mitros, and you all are given a small nondescript boat. Once a steer comes to, he's able to use his maester abilities to stabilize Galen.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And
Good idea.
Vagir, however, seems to be a little distraught because he seems to catch odd glances from Lady Ashira while Galen is out. And you're not sure, but you think you catch flashes of red in her eyes as you guys take the ship back to the Barakian Isles and back to Koth itself.
Okay.
You
Wow.
all have been successful.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Okay,
All right. No, it ran over. It's tough to get the full role play, instead of attack. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll go left to right and allow you all to reintroduce yourself, close with any remarks, and plug your channels. DBJ.
Oh, cool. Great game. DBJ, better to look me up at Bring Back the Magic or hell, just type in rants and you'll see a video or two of mine. And love Fate. Played about 3 or 4 times now, and I'm a complete fan. So I'm happy to be here.
Outstanding. DBS.
Okay. Well, thanks for Jim for running this. It was really fun doing a sword and sorcery Fate game, which is I believe the first time I actually have done this in the Conan universe or Conan world. So it was a great time. Thanks again.
All right, Ian.
Yeah, fantastic dimensions, actual play videos on YouTube. Thanks a lot for running the game. I really enjoyed it. Only my second Fate game, but I'm very, very hooked on this system.
Cool. And last but not least, Lloyd.
Hello. Jarl DM on YouTube if you want to watch me play games. And yeah, this is great. I've been itching to play some Conan, so I really enjoyed it. Big thumbs up.
Cool. All right. I want to thank my 2 Irish guys for playing into St. Paddy's Day. And I know it ran a little late for you guys, but I know you guys are used to it. But I appreciate it nonetheless. You guys enjoy your St. Patty's Day off. I take my butt to work. Everyone else, happy gaming. Take care.